to work out for them pretty well. But we are looking at this now. Of course, Yampi locking straight in there with the Jet. But Yassine, as you said, you'd like to see Scream play the Reyna here. And how do you think that would work around the Jet?
I think they work really good on Icebox, especially. I think they support each other from the higher ground and lower ground, because Reyna just runs around on the floor and Jet is kind of above her, assisting her. And then roaming wise, I think they are fantastic. So I think they are good together. Obviously, I think Scream is trolling with you, but maybe he's not. and Soulcast going for the Phoenix is interesting, because that could be a serious pick, no?
Yeah, that definitely actually could be a serious pick, but we'll let them hover for now. But Tom, on the other side, Magnum showed up very, very big on that Killjoy yesterday.
Well, I'm going to be a bit rude and ignore your question just because I want to talk about Soulcast actually picking up the Viper, just because that was the piece that was, well, he hadn't locked it by the time you said it, so it's fair. But yeah, that was the thing I was questioning, because in the previous rosters we normally looked at Eccles to be that player to sort of fill a lot of the tougher roles. So this is something that we won't have really seen from him before. So that's something I'm excited about, to see how much work Soulcast has actually put in. And we get this Scream Reyna. Let's go. Yeah, that's what we wanted.
That is what we wanted. And now, before I let you go, Yassine, head into game. Now you've seen the team compositions here.
I thought they were going to go more duelist heavy and try to just take duels, but instead they're going with what is a very, very solid comp. Now, as Yassine said, it's not just about the comp, it's about the playstyle. Let's see exactly how they use that. We're already into the game, and we're looking at the pistol round right now. Liquid quickly moving towards that A site, with Yampi finding the opening, and Link quite selfishly healing himself up. But hey, no one else needed it, especially not Scream with that kill. Who's up on 140 health as they bail back with a 2-man advantage.
Yeah, this is something filthy that they've been doing so regularly. That's the spike! Oh, that is not the start we were looking for. It's been dropped. Boaster's still trying to fight this, and actually the spike's peeking back in for more. Soulcast, run! Run! Go with the rest of your team. Oh, they're trying to make us sweat the early stages of this one, but what I was going to say is that the frenzy from this Liquid roster has been terrifying, and once again, it'll be a second kill coming up for Scream. That also allows him the Devour, so now he has quite a lot of health.
That was, well, an interesting start, let's put it that way. The spike peaks made me scared, but with a 2 versus 4 and the health that Scream's got, 150 currently locked in, not even possible at the start of a pistol round. They are looking much worse for wear over on the defensive side. Doma on the rotate over. Now he's got a ghost to play with as well as the armor, thanks to fallen comrades. But, well, how much can they expect to get done? This is going to have to be huge. The snake bite to right side allows the peek out. The trade, not quite there. And Link even saves Scream's life. That is a dominant round from Liquid, only losing 1 player to start off the pistol.
Yeah, I wonder how long it's going to take for other teams to just start doing this frenzy pistol that they've been doing all the way through, because I think they won, was it 5 out of 6 pistols yesterday or something like utterly ridiculous, just with this same setup, and it was both Yumpy and Scream just running around just killing everyone. Like, I think that pistol really is being proven to still be ridiculous. It's like, we've made it 100 credits more expensive now, guys. It is fixed.
Especially, it depends where you want to push, but especially when you're pushing in towards that A site on the close range angles. Immediately we have a recon that's stopping anybody pushing up close, and then of course the Marshall up on top. It's a nice start to the second round. This is an anti-eco, so really Liquid would like to avoid losing any players. Every weapon they save here is going to be an extra weapon for the next round, where FNATIC actually get a full buy and Liquid play a bonus. And so far they're doing a pretty clean job. They've barely even taken a point of damage. Only Yampi, who got tickled up from afar.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's also not buying a shotgun. We saw an awful lot of that yesterday, and I think on specific maps, like when he was playing A-Site Haven, very enjoyable. I think it was a strategy that worked. On this map, not so much. In fact, if you go and look at, say, some of the Turkish matches, this is almost like a save for the operator sort of map. Even Brams yesterday was putting in as much as he could to get that in play. So although this is a map that Liquid, with this iteration of the roster, haven't played at all, I think for Yumpy in particular, this map could actually be very solid.
You would imagine so. I think that's a pretty easy statement to make regardless of the map, Tom.
True.
Regardless of what map we're going into, yeah, he could be pretty solid. He has been so far. Now, when you look at Team Liquid, attack side bonus round, what do they want to do with this one? I mean, They've already put their wall down. This is for a B offense if they want to. And we're going to see a poison orb chucked over towards middle to allow the crossover. So this is all information denial. They're stopping FNATIC from really being able to sit on far back angles and gain a lot of free information. Now they're going to start pushing up B and gaining a little bit of control, using the drone as they go. And this is nice because when you walk through that choke point, it avoids you having to take that long range duel versus a Vandal straight off the bat.
By the looks of it, at least, this will be a free after plant. Now, this is a fairly common position to see one of your players sat just at the back of the site and Magnum about to be challenged, but so far so good. 2 kills already on the entry. Okay, sure, the plant is going to give some extra money over to Liquid for the next round, but the real question is, Mitch, how much damage do they get done?
That's it, right? You want to make FNATIC reinvest at least 2 to 3 weapons. Let's see if they can get that done. And immediately the Marshal goes down. The one-shot headshot weapons out of the game. And oh, they're lined up. That's a good double for Cryptics. And he almost goes further. I mean, that's exactly what they wanted. They got a spike plant. They got a double kill. Mission accomplished 100% for Team Liquid in this round.
Yeah, I think especially for FNATIC, they might be a little bit disappointed there, because up until the last man, they did an incredible job. Cleared everyone out, made sure any aggressive positions were gone, even used their utility well to just force players into awkward battles. And then the last man, Cryptics, just manages to do this with a Spectre. So, yeah, maybe a little bit disappointed, but all in all, this is where the purchase will be coming back in. Durka, I got baited. He bought a shotgun for a second, and I was like, is he going to stick with it? Are we going to get the judge now on the other foot? Is he going to try and teach Yumpy a lesson? No. But speaking of Yumpy, early operator.
Yeah, this is dangerous now because he didn't have to invest anything after that. Marshall was kept through for 2 rounds. The operator is here, and you'll notice a distinct lack of peeks from FNATIC on back site. They're not trying to spot anybody out, and on the crossover, they've completely avoided that operator for now, but a head spotted, not connected onto Durka. Quick to fall after, though. FNATIC, they've lost a man, but they still have a strong defense on A. That's been spotted, though. They know there's at least 2 players here, and with the presence and utility used by Liquid in the early round, you're going to suspect the 3rd man. This opens up the route for Liquid to rotate to B if they want to. They know that the flank was clear from early checking, but it looks like they still want to move forward. Into this 3-man stack they go, and Yampy trying to clear the way with the operator. Scream doing much the same, both having the ability to just evade a fight, although Yampy, I noticed, doesn't have his dash anymore. Scream certainly still happy to use his dismiss. 1 player more gone, but there we go. Boaster onto Yampy, drops the spike and the operator. That is a huge pick, but they need to do so much more. They're still behind on this one as Boaster gets the timing around the side. Sulcus down, and he keeps on going as well. Scream out of the game. FNATIC now in a 2v1. They've pulled it all the way back and left it onto Link.
This man has been the clutch master over the last couple of days, but it will not happen this time. And Liquid, well, they started that round off so strong. The default they had outside A, the aggression that went through from FNATIC completely failed, but well, I guess it did become a little bit obvious where they were going. So the rotations were able to come in. Sure, it mostly came down to Boaster just finding individual jewels and maybe the spacing being a little bit off from Liquid. But at the same time, you have to give props over to FNATIC for being able to do this in the first place.
Absolutely, yeah. Boaster went ham on that round. I don't know how he got as much as he did out of it. 2-2 in a round that they looked almost certain to lose, especially after Scream followed through in the second kill. Like, the A defense was weakened, but Boaster made it work. This time, he won't get anything done. Scream's out for revenge on the immediate mid-peak. Durka dancing with those knives up above, but it looks like Yampy's doing the same, trying to beat him at his own game. All the knives seem to be missing. Yampy now just remaining with 2, and Durka down to a Sheriff. Not the best of starts, really, for FNATIC, losing a player and such a powerful ultimate. As Yampy moves forward, oh, he's heard the drop. He's gone to the judge. The wall going to protect him for now, but he has got an updraft to go above if he wants to, and with Scream creeping up around the ropes, that might just be coming in soon. You can see Team Liquid, they watch their flank again, but in the late round, they will just barrel towards this A site. Not going to be the same hero as last time, but this will still be a doable position. Yampy jumping in with the judge like that, I'm not sure how I feel, Tom.
We've seen a few plays like that throughout the last couple of days, and this is what we mean about him being a little bit crazy. Like, we needed to get up in their face. Durka, though, That's the tap straight onto Scream. Now, they've still got themselves the after plant. They've also got the Hunter's Fury to at least try and deny them off the plant. But Magnum, he's just pushing through. He should be able to clear out Cryptix, and with his last bullet, finds the headshot. It's left onto Soulcast. He finds the first couple, though, and might just have the lineup to try and deny them. The problem is, it's already halfway stuck, so Magnum's gonna get this, and it doesn't fall in time. A ridiculously close round. A nice attempt from Soulcast, but it's Magnum who gets things through.
Yeah, that was just a gamble that it wasn't already halfway stuck, I suppose, but that's a big shame. You know, the position that Magnum gets himself in there, he's so close to being traded out. Look at that. If he stepped a pixel higher, Solkas headshots him first and then deals with his teammates. But instead, he's left in this clutch situation, and fair play to just stick that straight away. Magnum knew he hasn't got a lineup to hit me that quickly.
Did it
really, that
actually
just
land?
comes with experience.
Yeah,
it did land, yeah.
Like, because it looked like it landed a bit deep. That might just be me. I might be being a bit pedantic. It didn't matter in the grand scale of things, but here goes Yumpy. First fight, and Magnum shuts him out. As said, his job within this team is normally to try and find and make as much space for the rest of the roster, taking a large amount of risks, especially on a map that they don't really... Well, they don't play. They haven't played. But him going down puts pressure on the remainder of the roster, playing more of a default, but still information hunting coming through. And while seeing that a couple of them in the spawn, Boaster clearly feeling confident. He wants to try and take the fight.
Well, yeah, I mean, wouldn't you be? Although he got punished in the previous round, the one before, he tore Liquid to shreds. So I'll give him a little bit of credit for the aggressive plays. What I'll say as well is that when you look at Yampy being picked off now in the way that he has in the last 2 rounds, if that keeps up, FNATIC could be onto something in terms of just shutting down the confidence that he clearly needs in his current playstyle, and shifting him to a B plan so early in his adaptation to Valorant could really give them a leg up on the game. Look at Durka in this corner. They're already starting to creep forward and look to challenge him. Ready on the peak. Scream gets the first, moving to sight. Slow for back, the flash over for the cross, and they will get over here and plant the spike almost definitely, but Scream wants more. He wants so much more than that. Ready for the peak below, but Doma, he delivers a 3v3. Weaker weapons to cover that spike. They're under heavy pressure. But Boaster, he picks the wrong spot to spam and won't get anything for his Hunter's Fury.
A lot of ultimates being invested here for FNATIC to try and force them back as far as possible. Soulcast, in terms of utility, has nothing left, so they need to try and fight this. It's left to him once again, and again, the defuse is just going to go through. They could plant in the open spot. He still hits all the headshots at the end. Definitely on point individually today. Unfortunately, again, FNATIC have just defused.
Again and again, getting in with those sneaky rounds. I mean, the double kill that they got straight away, it was fantastic, but the fact that Solkas has now twice been locked out on those post plants and still put himself in a pretty good position to win the round, it's starting to really be a kick in the teeth, and I think that's all down to FNATIC being able to go in for that fast and aggressive retake that we saw Yassine talk about, right? He was saying on the desk how when you're up against all of these mollies and snake bites and those post-plant setups, you have to be fast. That's exactly how FNATIC have done it. Look at this. The preemptive smoke down allows Durka to get right up in their face, blocking out the recon as he goes, but Yampy's shotgun finally finds a reward. And with that follow-up to Boaster, Mystic is alone on B. He'd used up his ultimate, but now he's got an very difficult task on his hand in the 1v3 to pull this back.
Planted.
Oh, you've got to be so mad, but maybe, just maybe, Mystic can look to turn the tide again. Yumpy's actually gonna peek him. That was so risky. 36 HP. If he falls, he hands a 1v1 over, but well, I guess risk and reward is what Yumpy seems to get. The fact that he was flying through the air as he hits one of those headshots, I can't imagine how salty you're going to be. I will say, even though it doesn't work for FNATIC, I do like these ideas. Like, there have been a lot of A plays now coming in from Liquid. They've been forcing this site for pretty much every single round. I'm almost starting to wonder if, like, they've prepped a lot for the A site execution and maybe not so much for B, because it does seem like a very A-centric style. But the fact that FNATIC go, okay, you want to keep doing this? We're going to try and disrupt you before you even get to the site.
Yeah. Oh, the spray was close from Yampy. The key part of that really is the fact that you have Viper ulted on B, because when you push like that on A, with so many players, they're often going to just rotate back. But instead, they can't run through that ultimate. They can, however, run through Mystic, which is what they do. Run up on B, spot him jump spotting, ignore his wall completely, and take him down. with that. Oh, well, especially with Doma gone, all chance of this round going their way is pretty much out. But what is Yampi doing, man? Look how aggressive he is. He knows there's an ultimate. He knows there's a pistol, but he doesn't give a damn. He takes his own out. He'll fight you into your own game. I don't know what that was. A weapon lost now and given over to Boaster. He'll try to save this, but he's only got one.
Oh!
Well, that's all he needs. Oh my god.
Oh, that's so dirty. That's almost a flex in itself to not reload there and just go for the one tap. Oh, you love to see it, but yeah, I feel like Yumpy is just glued down his W key, and that's just how he's playing for the rest of the game. Like, he just doesn't stop throughout this, like consistently pushing, and sure, it has unreal risk behind it, as I've already mentioned so far in this match, but like, the thing is, we talk about FNATIC as a team who like to prep, who like to anti-strat. They like to try and look at their opponent and work out what they're going to do. Now, Liquid don't play Icebox for starters, so that's already difficult. But when you have a man literally just running around corners spraying you, like, you can't predict that, and even if you can, it doesn't mean you can stop it.
Exactly, yeah. Look at Yampy go, man. He's already in their spawn. He's right up behind them looking for the fights, but he's dealt with this time. Again, the risk-reward of what he's doing sometimes doesn't pay off, and with the B push, it's 3 players pushed up B. The immediate reaction from Liquid is to rotate over to A. They're going to pop the ultimate to hopefully guarantee them a spike plant. Nano swarms lie in their way, but it shouldn't really be too much of an issue. And look, Magnum and Mystic were right side peeking that, but as support goes, Mystic falls back to left side. Magnum is quickly taken down. Liquid, oh my god, they're looking so good right now. Boaster's going to try to get it done with the Hunter's Fury and good damage to Cryptics, but now they have to deal with that Viper's Pit, and that's where the real trouble begins.
I think they were hoping that the Hunter's Fury would do most of the work for them, maybe ping a player or two and help them realize this is heavy investment from FNATIC in an attempt to try and get this one back, but Soulcast is just going to roam around the edge. The problem he has to worry about is the elevation, but in fact, he even puts the snake bite in. This is going to buy them even more time, and they've realized, FNATIC, they have got to move, but Mystic starts it off strong. They need to get someone on that spike, and they need to do it now. They've killed off one man, but Link is still in the corner. He's going to deny it no matter what, and Liquid are going to get themselves through the round. Sure, they'll lose every single player along the way, but from the position they were in, the ultimates used by FNATIC, that is an impressive round.
Hey, a win's a win, and that's all what it's all about. Even FNATIC, yeah, they pop up that res. They get a good start to it as well with Mystic going above the ultimate on the ropes and taking that kill. It looked like, okay, that's it. They've got it locked in. They've got the footwork done, but then Link just gets that beautiful position. He's left unchecked, so it's nice and easy. I mean, the round that they had in it, they shouldn't have won. And with 5-4 on the board, a map that we pretty much counted Liquid out of, it's looking a whole lot more competitive.
Yeah, I am always going to have that caveat of I have seen a lot of teams have good attack sides of this map and then completely crumbled on the defense. So I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt to FNATIC that they will have a good attack side. This though is just crisp, and we haven't seen, I guess, what I want to say, one of those rounds yet, Mitch, where Scream just decides that he's winning the round. So I don't know, 6-4, it's already looking good. If they can get this to 8, I'd say they've got one hell of a chance.
Definitely. I do think the defensive side, as you highlighted, Tom, is going to be somewhere that they crumble a little bit more. I mean, you look at the pieces that they have when it comes down to Scream and Yampy right now, being able to go in for these hyper-aggressive plays. Whenever it comes down to having to play that a bit more defensive, especially against the FNATIC play style of, we're just going to wait for you. We're going to play super, super slow and hope you get aggressive. That's where players like Yampy, especially with how he's been playing so far, could get a little bit itchy and cause some mistakes. And speaking of aggressive playstyle, he's already on top of Tube. Almost connects the shot with the operator, and he gets Magnum, looking for more to Boaster. That was disgusting. What a flick down.
Please don't leave us, Yumpy. Please. Like, I want to see more of that. Most players wouldn't do that. Most players wouldn't take that risk, but Yumpy, well, it's 50-50. Either he's getting wrecked at the beginning of the round or someone's going with him. And now they fall back into this same A-Tech. As said, it's been quite a lonely time for Mystic on B. They really haven't bothered going in that direction. They've looked to pressure on this side of the map, and Durka hasn't really been thriving. Both operator players missing. A bit of a surprise from my aspect, but now the push begins.
Begin it does. Boaster first to take down Sulcus, but he's trapped up close on the site. Players absolutely everywhere. You can hear the steps. That wall's still up. But for how much longer? Look, there's the player on the right side. And a kill for Scream means he's out of there for free. Solkas brought back online. Scream with another. He's just not letting them have a moment to breathe, but eventually Mystic's good. Oh, he's going to use the ult. It's a 1v4. That is a brave play, and he gets a reward for it. Has to figure out how he moves around this one. He knows there's someone up on top of the rafters and may now think that he's in the spawn. Indeed he does, but it's Yampy, a frenzy in hand. The unstoppable force that gets 7 on the board for Team Liquid. And you just playing against Scream and Yampy so far seems to be the most unbelievably difficult thing to deal with. Like, how do you stop this? I feel like Scream is more tame than Yampy is right now, but that's almost scarier because you have two kinds of insane player to deal with.
But the other thing as well is, like, in terms of the economy game, sure, Solkas hasn't necessarily won them around, I would say, but he's made every single round that FNATIC win so damn costly that they're basically left with weaker weapons in almost every single round. All their repurchases have sucked. Like, even now, you look at the fact that they end up with the likes of a Spectre and a Bulldog in the mix. I know there's a few players or a few people who are really not fans of the Bulldog, but the fact is here, even utility's missing. So, sure, yeah, it has been Scream and Yumpy as usual, but Solkas has just made things even more painful than it ever could have been.
This wall that they've put down is not a deterrent at this stage of the round, right? When you have it up, if somebody's already crossed, they're not worried, especially in this meta when it's not doing the 50 massive chunks of damage. Mystic in so much trouble. He's even slowed in the corner. Snake bites coming in. They have so much to deal with him as well. Maybe a shock dart could be on its way, or just full commit. Yeah, let's go. Hunter's Fury. Oster even gets tagged by it and taken down. Oh, this is devastating for FNATIC. But Durka, he pulls it back. Okay, one with the Bulldog. As Magnum looks to creep around the side, you know at this stage they're going to be back yellow. They have to be. And peeking around the side is Link. He's got the wall to protect him, but it doesn't provide any cover, really. Cryptics in the 1 versus 2. He has to move fast. That wall is blocking him from spamming, and I don't think he can get this one done. The shock dart does nothing, and the defuse comes through. FNATIC, they get 5 on the board. They deny Liquid an 8th, but still an insane half coming out from the attack side of Liquid, a team that hasn't played this map in a long, long time. Now in the lead coming into half number 2.
Yeah, now is where we truly test Liquid, though. Like, this is where things can be a little bit different, because there are aspects of aggression on this map that can work quite nicely. I even like the stack up that FNATIC did in one of the earlier rounds where they go deep through B, even the same on A as well, like actually battling for map control. I want to see how Liquid are going to cope with that, because we know that Yumpy can get up in your face. We know that he can take these risks that can make things awkward. We also know that they're very good at winning themselves pistol rounds, which, hey, if they can get that extra bonus, get themselves up to 9-5, we're sat here thinking, okay, this really isn't far away from them getting it over the line, and I think we've all admitted that the next map of Ascent really does favor them heavily.
Most definitely. Most definitely. As I said, this is a very scary prospect for FNATIC. If they do lose it, they should be coming out on top, but a loss here, it definitely spells out trouble for the series. Liquid on the defensive side. They've got 3 players towards the B site, and of course the key detail here on those spams through the walls, the fact they're playing with Ghosts behind utility with Ghosts is perfect, because they can't see your tracers. They can't return fire nearly as accurately as when I'm playing matchmaking with my teammates and they spam with Vandals and then wonder why they're dead.
Oh, we're going to see the slowdown. A fairly heavy rotation already coming in from Liquid. Multiple players waiting on that cross. In fact, it's only really the mid control currently being held by Yumpy that could make any level of difference. Now, they put the raid boss onto Durka here, Mitch. So they're going to be expecting quite a lot, although that extra armor he was able to buy is gone.
Yeah, it's disappeared already. For Durka, at least that wall up to cover. He saw a barrel, but I don't think he noticed. So hard to see without the X-ray as it just poked through the Viper's wall. Speaking of walls, the Sage wall goes down to allow the cover, as that orb provides a bulletproof structure, I suppose. I don't know what you call something made out of ice. I guess it's still a structure. Push out. Back yellow. 1 kill to start for Doma. Durka wants to peek it, but here's Noise on the right. He's covering the push through as his teammate dies, and Scream gets full healed up. Here's a counter wall in play. It's so easy to spam, but they've got to get up close to do it. It's already halfway stuck. Nano Swarm, as well as the Poison Orb, buys them a little bit of time, but they're under high pressure. The flank up by Boaster. He clears it out. He's in his own team's utility. But there's a player up close with no idea. He's thinking, why is he in the smoke? Why is he there? And Boaster even gets away with the double. Oh, that's so nasty. You would never expect him to be stood inside the snake bite, but it pays dividends.
And such a ratty little angle. There were two walls crossing each other in the middle of that, so I was thinking there's no way they could deny this, and Boaster's just like, well, what if I'm inside? What if I'm lurking within the shadows? And that is a huge round for them to take away. As said, pistol rounds for Liquid have been very good thus far. Now they're going to go on the back foot, but we are actually going to see them invest into this one. And actually, Scream, he's got himself the Bulldog. They're going up against Bucky FC with a load of Buckies. This round might not be as easy as FNATIC first expected.
That drone has not seen Cryptics, but they're ready for it. They're spamming it away anyways. Mystic with another to Solkus. And while Team Liquid, they decided to invest heavily into this round, and it hasn't paid off so far. Scream with the Bulldog, hoping to get a kill and heal up off of it to get his armor. Oh, he's gonna have to... Whoa, Link, you're dead. You're so dead. A wall bang coming in from Spectre is never a nice way to go, and while Scream invested into this weapon with the hopes of finding early kills, he's left in almost a clutch situation with now Yampy alone, and the hopes of getting an 8-6 lead completely fall apart.
Yeah, that was dominant from FNATIC. Diligent in their clearance of all of the angles. I think also you're definitely right from Scream's perspective. I think he buys that Bulldog without any shields at all. So the idea is, okay, I get a kill, I get my shields. Well, they were so quick to clear all of those aggressive B angles and just basically fully commit. And this is something that FNATIC will do quite regularly in these rounds where, while they're running the SMGs, is they're going to try and pick up the pace. They're going to try and get up in your face. Interestingly, though, is Scream going to get another Bulldog?
It looks like it, and to be honest, I'm not entirely against it. The fact that he can just heal up off it, at least gives them some semblance of hope in this round, and there we go. Exactly what we're talking about. He dismisses out, and with that, 2 kills now in the tank, because remember, he got the heal up already. That's why he dismisses straight away, because he did damage while Solkus gets the kill. It's man advantage ×2. Okay, they don't have the best weapons in the world, and it is only a bonus for FNATIC, but winning this round would be a huge blow to the FNATIC side.
They invest the res. It almost shows how serious this round has become. It's gone from what they expected to be a walk in the park to a force that I'm sure has caught them off guard. Scream not happy with his initial performance off the Bulldog, so had to prove us wrong the second time. Now we see the walls currently crossing over, looking to try and make things a little bit more awkward for FNATIC on this take. Now, they've been very heavy into this B site, Mitch, and by the looks of it, it's going to be the exact same again.
Yeah, their wall's down, and they're definitely looking to push this one up. Of course, they've got that ice wall to play with. If they can pick off the Sage on the way, that would pretty much end the round, but Magnum deals with Yampy before that can happen. Here comes the plant into play, looking for shock darts, seeing none, looking for a player, pushing with a shotgun like that from Boaster, or from Cryptics, excuse me, as Boaster deals with him. And now, Team Liquid, they fall down into a man disadvantage, but Scream is still lurking around. At this stage, his overheal is gone. And that was another thing. FNATIC waiting it out means that Scream is no longer on the 150 HP, right? He's in a much worse position as he gets tickled up a little bit. No armor left to play around. And the wall that's in play, well, it quickly falls. They've got to push in. They've got to use their own ice wall to try and buy themselves a little bit of space to get that diffuse in, but it looks like they're more focused on initiating fights and taking damage, and well, that hasn't gone too well for them with Scream being the final remaining player. It's about how much more he can do, and Scream, I don't know how he got 2. That spin on the spot. He's actually even left Mystic in a spot where he has to die as well. Altogether, good damage from Liquid considering the round that was in it, and you see the value of the Bulldog in, I think, what, it had 3 kills, but it participated heavily in the first as well.
Yeah, that was an awful lot of damage done. And the thing is, again, like, if you look at Scream for the next round, realistically, if he wanted to, he could just drop the shields once again. And then he just has whatever he desired. The other thing as well is that a lot of the utility you get from a Reyna, it's not going to be the most important thing. So he's done his job. He's made things costly. Now we get Durka onto the... Oh, at least we had him on the operator. A little bit of Finn on Finn, and this time it's the elder of the two, Yumpy, that comes out on top. This is what we wanted to see on this map. That is a bold peak, but he does not get punished.
Yeah, Yampy wanted to be up on top of Yellow, but Unfortunately, he loses a fair bit of his HP on the way. Shock dart out towards the back, but they don't expect him to be so far pushed forward. Spike down. Will be retrieved. No one's defending it all too aggressively, but in a 5 versus 3, Team Liquid now content to play passive, you would imagine, and indeed that flash, the leer out of Scream, is just to buy them a little bit of time. That was almost the spike down again. So close. But as they fall back, they fall right into the arms of Scream, who's just picking them apart on this push forward, and at this point, FNATIC, well, they've not really been able to play the round at all, have they, Tom? They've just been picked off one by one as they try to take the little bit of early map control.
I feel like this is a game of Mario Party. You've landed on one of the bad squares and it's like rolling through what it's going to give you. It's like, do you face into Scream or do you face into Yumpy? And either way, you're not going to be happy with the result. Luckily this time, they have managed to take down Scream, but they're running out of time. There's 20 seconds left if they are going to make some sort of move, and I have a feeling they're not, Mitch.
Yeah, I think at this point it's all about a slow and steady. Doesn't win the race, but at least he's able to compete in the next one because he hasn't pulled a muscle. And that's what
the tortoise survives. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, his tendons are all where they should be, and that's what you need. For FNATIC, it's about carrying these weapons through, as we said. So 8-8 tied up. It's not the end of the world. For Team Liquid, though, they've certainly shown that, you know, generally when you play a map, you're going to have like a weaker side, right? You're going to have one where you're more focused on utility. You patch it up by putting your Killjoy there. Maybe in the next meta, more so your Viper. But the fact that we've seen Yampy deal the damage that he did, they're making a predictive play in the early round. Liquid, they had Yampy on B. Now they just use Viper setup and put Yampy towards A with Scream holding mid. This could be huge in how they're swapping up this operator to make it very hard to predict.
Yeah, he's definitely not messing around. Already into a similar peak from what we saw from Durka in the previous half. We're going to try and get up in the face of his opponent, and just giving this much control over to him. Sure, it's a dangerous angle to keep, but it also means that they can start gambling rotations in the other direction. The problem is, FNATIC, what they like to do is almost like feel out the opposing team. Like there was a joke earlier from Yasim where he's like, yeah, and then you see Boaster flip a coin and that's the direction they go. They're waiting to see if there's any aggression, if there's any tells coming out from the side of Liquid, and well, they may have gambled early on their rotation to A. Now Soulcast is going to come under some serious pressure.
He's in trouble. His teammates just rotated off the side as well. But FNATIC, they don't go too quickly into the storm. Instead, they're going to wait it out just a couple seconds longer. The wall eventually comes up and they'll look to cross. But at this point, Liquid have started a rotate of their own. They've brought in an extra player in the form of Link to support from afar. And they're happy enough to play retake by the looks of things, but with the Viper utility in play, they'll break the wall right away, pop down a snake bite presumably, and stop them really from being able to comfortably get that plant in play. They can bounce it off the wall so easily. Oh, what is this? Screen from up above just goes wide on that peak, straight into heavy traffic. He's down, and now they can get that spike plant very, very easily. That is a huge loss, and as the wall breaks, Doma was exposed, but he didn't give a damn. He takes both kills and leaves Yampy alone. He had been on A at the start of this round and now stuck in kitchen. He's thinking, what the hell are FNATIC cooking?
There was so many things that could have gone wrong in that round. Like, the plant at the end was behind one piece of wall that wasn't destroyed. And as you said, it fades and Doma manages to get 2 kills. He was revealed to his opponents and somehow still manages to find the kills off the back of it. And as you said, I think that was Scream actually using his Empress as well and just finding absolutely nothing from it. Those are situations where, sure, it isn't the most clinical, like fantastic ultimate you're ever going to see in this game, but when it's Scream on it, it doesn't matter. Like, that's where I expect him to at least get some value. So 9-8 for FNATIC. Maybe not as crisp or clean a round as we would have liked. It definitely got a bit dicey towards the middle of it, but they've got the job done and they forced Yumpy into a save.
Not something you'll see all too often, Tom. Yampy having a save mainly because he's just killed the whole enemy team. That kill for Scream would have been pivotal. If he gets one there, he falls back off the dismiss. They're discouraged from actually getting the plant. He can harass them a bit more, but as soon as he does, that's it. You know, rounds GG'd as it is. 8-9. Change up again. Yampy's going to be holding out towards B, and it looks like he's soon to get some contact as he peeks up through this wall. We won't see that. Oh, there we go. He's going to try and catch him coming through this doorway. It seems like they're so passive right now, FNATIC, and they always are, Tom. But you can see they're so worried about peeking in for information to an angle because maybe that operator is going to be waiting, and indeed it is. Dashing out of there, realizing he's being caught, but not tagged up. That's the benefit. So these Hunter's Furies are pretty much coming in blind.
Once again, it takes them a while, but they get the map control they desire. Now, seeing somebody that aggressive, again, it might be the tell they were looking for, that maybe they have gambled a little bit. Scream! He just goes walkabouts in mid, and that's Durka caught. Now they have to worry about the flank as well. So FNATIC, I think they're just going to execute off this Soulcast. He's in position, and again, he comes up with 2 huge kills. He can't quite find the third off Magnum, but he's done his job. He's put his team in a hugely advantageous position and also slowed things down enough that the wall has fallen.
That's very important, right? Because they're going to have to wait before it recharges. No, in fact, they're pushing forward on it now, but it's going to go down, and that's when Yampy will feel the space, the need to go in for that kill. He gets one on the no-scope, and Magnum left to the 1v3. Can't get it done. Double peaked and double dead. 9-9. Liquid. All right, back on the board. They're not letting FNATIC run away with this one, and say what you will, regardless of how this game goes, if FNATIC end up taking it even now 13-9, it has been such a strong game from Liquid. They're showing that this roster has improved. They've put the time in, and, well, it wasn't just lies when they said that they were ready for Icebox.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's something I've actually quite enjoyed about a lot of Liquid setups, though, is if they are willing to play these sort of gamble rotations we see in games like Counter-Strike, for example, like taking those risks, having somebody aggressively looking for information and then falling back and then splitting up the setup a little bit more. It's working wonderfully for them because they have so many players in the right place at the right time. For now, though, it is looking like a straight-up A setup. It's been slow B plays mostly, and Durka, he's already going to find Scream.
Oh, he is. He's going to keep going, but the flank is underway in the early stages of this round. How is Durka continuously getting away with that? He goes all the way forward for 3, a 4th onto Yampy, and Solkus, the final remaining player. He wants to peek into it. He wants to punish Durka, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to. He's even spotted running away. Durka hot on his heels, pursuing this player as he goes up in towards the halls. Operator in hand, but gonna run right into Durka for the ace. 10 on the board for FNATIC. And Tom, this round started out so well. We saw over on B, we had Yampy pushing up, gaining control. That allowed Solkus to push on top of the boxes in the B choke point to use his ultimate if Yampy spotted anyone. But he didn't. That saves them from using an ult pointlessly, and so they can get an early lurk and rotate. Liquid at every single piece of the puzzle setup. They had the information, they had the stack, they even had a Viper ult if they needed it, and then it's just Durka. He just wins the round single-handedly. To hell with your efforts, Liquid.
Right, he'd had a bit of a quieter game so far. The fact is, as you said, Liquid had everything they needed. Unfortunately, they didn't have Durka. So it's 10-9. It doesn't get much closer than this. And now we're going to see the Blade Storm thrown in on the other side. Whether or not Yumpy can replicate anything of his fellow Finn, we'll have to wait and see, but it looks like FNATIC have decided, okay, that worked so well, let's give it another go, but it hasn't started off quite the same way.
No. This time we get some kills going FNATIC's way, though, to pull it back. Yampy removed from the equation as he rotates into heaven, now back to deal even more damage. Sneaking around that wall is perfect for a headshot angle, but no headshot comes through. Recovered over a Vandal, but he's been spotted, sprayed, and dead. That's should be the round sealed. What more can you expect from these players? A Spectre and a Phantom, no time and post-plan setups in effect. Mystic no doubt has the lineup to deal with any sort of diffuse that could come through, and you have to start to feel for Liquid on this. It feels like a save already, and getting your hands on that extra Vandal pretty much confirms it. Even on their way, the question is, can they make it? Because Boaster, he doesn't peek out right in time. So Liquid away with those 2 weapons, but 11-9 we go. FNATIC, they're building up these rounds, Tom.
Yeah, these are the sort of calls as well I think you only really get when you have like a strong in-game leader like Boaster. I know there's going to be plenty of spams in the chat about that man and why he is one of your favorite players from FNATIC, but realistically, it's a bold call to go the exact same play twice. Like, they went for the fast A hit, it worked wonderfully the first time with Durka killing everybody, and then they do exactly the same again. And it's just the risk of like potentially walking into a stack. There were a fair few players there once again though. Like the preparation, the players here for Liquid, they had everything they needed. The problem is they were just so methodical in clearing all those angles, using their utility to make a lot of those battles more awkward, trapping players in the back of the site with the slows. And then after that point, you just see the rest of FNATIC methodically pick them apart. So sure, there was some weaker weaponry there from Team Liquid, but FNATIC now looking to take the control. I guess we expected them to, Mitch, because as you said, even at this stage, this has been an impressive showing from Liquid, but to take this map over the line, that would have been a completely different story.
That's a tactical timeout from Liquid coming in here, but it looks like they're ready to go now. This is a tough round for them, and Tom, you just take a look at what they're investing into. Yampy down on a Sheriff with nothing else to play with. He has 2.6k in reserve. Interesting choice, and the rest of the team fully investing in. The rifles obviously saved over.
They're playing for OT. Like that's all I can take from this. If you're gonna save, that is the rattiest angle I've ever seen played by a professional team. Like people do that in the matchmaking games all the time. FNATIC are just gonna go, you know what? They're gonna get aggressive. Let's sit in the spawn and wait for them.
They are still there.
Why not?
What? So I wonder if from
Having a
FNATIC
cuddle.
this is the kind of choice that, well, I'm not sure what that pause is about. We don't know what they're gonna do, so let's just sit and spawn and see. And Yassine is fuming watching that right there. He's like, I told you, they just wait. They just wait until, he said they play so boring, and I can't imagine anything more boring than literally sitting in spawn for half the round, more than half the round now, as Mystic eventually leaves it. But they have lost Urka despite good damage done. Still though, as they think, okay, we'll push forward on B and get some control then, I guess. No, they're still in spawn. So it's a quick kill followed by a B push, but Team Liquid have rotated in. They are very ready for this to be the case, and with Scream falling back and being spotted, they won't expect Link to be here already. This could be absolutely huge. He catches one on the side, and a second follows. Swinging out on yellow is tempting, and he goes fully forward with the trade of Scream. 10 seconds almost on the clock. Boaster has to go quick to get this one done. The spike there for him, as he's going to pop a recon and presumably go for this defuse, but no. Or plant even. With 3 seconds left, he has to stick it. They know it. I don't even know if he has time. No. Did you guess? What? The UI was even confused. It went to 6 seconds left for post round, and yeah, indeed, he didn't have time, but he got it planted just afterwards. That was a weird bit of lag. Even the game fully lost in that one.
Mitchman hurt himself with confusion. It's all right.
I was like, oh, he doesn't have time. Then it came up planted. I'm like, wait.
One thing as well. Link, I think, needs to just change his name to like Mr. Impact or just something like that. It's the new hero that every single team needs, because a lot of the time, again, you look at the statistics, but when it comes to a crunch round, a round that Liquid should never be winning, he just comes up with something utterly ridiculous. And sure, the setup from Liquid was solid to bait them into that position, but he always seems to deliver in those scenarios, and he's put them back in the match. 11-10, it was looking like they were going to have to play for OT. As said, they were saving for the operator. That's why that was coming through. That's why Yuppie did it by Darker, though. He doesn't want them to come back just yet. They are just flooring it straight into the A side, Mitch. And while the remaining two players, they might just have to save.
They might. You said they were obviously playing for the OT. Well, they really and truly are playing for the OT now, because it's going to be 12-10. With Solkis and Yampy saving over those weapons. Yampy looking for exit frags, but to be honest, at this stage, exit frags are not worth it because FNATIC have got a lot of money, but you cannot allow them to fully hunt you, right? You can't give them full space to just leave the A side and run everywhere they want. So it's more about delaying as much time as possible and making them conscious of where that operator is. Solkis, though, he's not in that privileged position. If they clear him, he's in trouble. And in fact, he's going to let Boaster go right by. It's a smart play, but he takes him out in the end. And now Durka knows exactly where he is. He's looking to drop down on him, hoping that he walks out, but he's gone out the other side as we look elsewhere and see Yampy also under pressure. Spike soon to explode. They've got to go quickly. And there's the kill. But there's a second player to trade. And they all die in the end. No weapons saved forward by Liquid. And the sad thing here, Tom, is that if they just played passive, if they didn't actually kill anyone, they probably would have gotten away with that.
It gives me flashbacks to when we watched that Mixwell save, like in the back of the spawn, where a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't he take the shot? It's like, well, if he takes the shot, even though that kill is free, they know where he is. If he doesn't take the shot, they walk past. Now, I can kind of understand that I think it was killing Boaster after he'd already walked past, because there was a high chance the other player might have caught him anyway. I don't think Yumpy gets found there, though. Like, he's just in a corner that no one's ever going to check again, so... yeah, they've lost a couple of weapons. They now end up with shotguns, a couple of rifles, and not the greatest of purchases, but again, Liquid start things off well.
Yeah, Scream, I don't think was able to reach that orb to go for the dismiss, and the res onto Durka pulls them back into a pretty good spot. They do the same, though, for Scream. Res down below, shock dart right on his head. They're not letting him away with that one for free. Boaster making sure he's at least damaged up and easier to kill. Mystic with another. FNATIC storming the A side as quickly as possible. The knives in the back. But Durka, he's lost his opponent. Where did he go? Well, there he is, Durka, who eventually takes him down. Falling back. There's only 2 players left on Liquid, and they're both on A. FNATIC, they've made the right call to rotate, but on mid, it looks like Solkus wants to take that fight. Vandal in hand. He'll catch the second players, the stragglers, but only for a little bit of damage, leaving Durka on 20 HP. Solid timing on that one, and he even gets to sight ahead of them, ready to take the fight, but now in trouble. He's being decayed, he's being killed, and Link is the last alive, the last hope for Team Liquid. It's been a good map, but this has to be a fantastic clutch. Viper's Pit in play, and Link is not. 13 to 10. FNATIC, they take the map that they should have taken.
Both of these teams are going to pick. Again, unlike Icebox, you know, we're going to definitely see Scream back on the Phoenix here. I know he was hovering that, but Mitch, I mean, it's going to be a surprise if he doesn't choose Phoenix.
Yeah, it would be. I think that realistically, the way that we've seen Scream play recently has been pretty solid on Phoenix, to describe it in a fairly underwhelming way. And then he said he's not that comfortable. So with the extra experience, with the extra practice, he could be unbelievable.
Well, he would be indeed. He already...
They're going for 3. It's a BO5. We're going the full distance, baby. And this is where Team Liquid hope to pick up their first. A map that certainly gives them a little bit of leeway. But with FNATIC dropping G2, the very good G2, right? They looked fantastic with playing with Aussie. That's not something to be taken all too lightly. Starting out the pistol, Team Liquid looking favorably towards the A side. And FNATIC, well, they're playing retake over there. So with all the control they have on B and now middle, you'd think these guys are going to start to contest a little bit more actively.
It almost looks like FNATIC might have taken a leaf out of the book of Team Liquid. They've got themselves the double frenzies as well, so maybe changing things up a little bit, stealing a few things here and there, and of course one of them has been dropped over to Durka as well to give him that lovely little raid boss. An easy after plant though for Team Liquid, and now we get to see how it's going to work for FNATIC in the retake.
Yeah, that turret up behind is going to be a little bit of a harasser. What's going on here? Yampy able to catch Durka. No one else is pushing him, is finding space, but instead he finds bullets coming straight at him. The dash, Yampy. Oh my god, that was aggressive. Liquid now at the man disadvantage. It's 2 players trapped under hell. Link good for the first, but now he's going to be double swung on. Look at this. They wait for each other. They're pushing together, and Mystic is taking the kill. FNATIC, they get away with that round. They played retake. They had a flank that was spotted, but somehow they get away with it.
Yeah, I do somewhat agree with you, though, about the sort of like the yumpy aggression. Like, it's a gift and a curse sometimes. And in that situation, clearly wanting to try and clear out that generator, but it was just so risky. Like, once you dash, there's a moment where you're unable to shoot, and that just gave his opponent such an opportunity. Mystic probably thanking his lucky stars that he's not able to do anything. And, well, yeah, that flank you mentioned as well from Magnum is actually going to take that pistol home. So something we highlighted from yesterday, 5 out of 6 pistols going the way of Liquid. Well, not quite the case here today.
No, it's not. Liquid's certainly struggling a little bit on that front, but hey, the rest of their game has been pretty solid. And it's a shame because if you look at pistols, if you look at how some of the rounds have gone down in post plants, utility not quite landing, it's left them in a spot where they could have won the previous map. Almost definitely. So those little tweaks along the way, it can make a big difference. That's going to be a spot straight away on mid. Durka able to capitalize and fall back for free. Even wants to further aggress. Hearing Solkus down below the stairs. You can feel the kill coming his way. Swinging out and waiting for him. Just waiting for him to peek. And eventually he's going to get his wish. But no, he's caught off guard, but he still gets away with it. Yampy up close, low HP, nice and easy. A 3rd kill for Durka. Man is playing with just a frenzy. and he's almost walking away with an ace at this point as his HP deteriorates further. He can still take a Sheriff shot to the body. He's still good for that. As he moves to side, it's only the Sheriff on long left, and well, he was dealt with quickly. That's a flawless round from FNATIC. They allow a plant, but you're going to be pretty happy with that if you're the defenders.
Do you know what I honestly think the biggest risk for him in that round was? Running out of ammo. Because after shooting the turret, I think he only had 12 bullets left, which, if you ever used the Frenzy before, lasts about 0.1 of a second. So, yeah, good round from Durka. Still a plant comes through, so for Liquid it gives a little bit of extra cash. Like, it's not going to be changing the game, but it at least means financially they've paid for some of the weaponry that they purchased in the last round, and they'll come in with a very solid buy going into this one. Can even get you maybe the extra armor you were looking for. On the other side of things, though, Durka, I was expecting maybe that this comes through with an investment of something like an operator, although I don't know if he quite had enough money to purchase it up, although I think he did rebuy full armor, so maybe he could have done. I thought that was going to be the risk that was taken. Instead, it seems this is a pure bonus, and the idea is orb control. He wants that orb very, very badly, as much as Mitch wants Irish players to be good at competitive Valorant. So we'll see if he can bring through that Bladestorm, and then this round might become a little bit more competitive.
Why you gotta do me like that, Tom? Do me like that.
I could have said as much as you want a milkshake, but I felt I'd leave that one.
I don't know which is worse, because now you've reminded me I want a milkshake, and you've ruined my day, honestly. Thanks. 2-0, yeah. FNATIC, but taking this one nice and slow on the defensive side, hoping to push Liquid into some close range engagements. Pushed up on B. They're Herd falling back, right? That's info for free. I know the B main is likely clear, unless it's a big bait. That camera has to be destroyed to deny control for Liquid. Oh, there we go. That's the step they needed. The player is leaving Garden. They're rotating to B. That information fed over will leave Liquid to presumably move towards the A side. Yeah. Oh, look at that. They're going to go out middle. So now it's really like, okay, you're pressuring up on B. You're trying to keep these guys in position. And when they rotate back, this is Yampy in spot to take them down. Boaster, he can even get one kill, but he can't deny that spike plant, really. It's Yampy that'll put off the forces, but what? Boaster gets screamed. Yampy falls, and now Liquid, they get the site. They get the plants just about. Players losing HP left, right, and center, but a frantic push in leaves them open to so many gaps. Cryptic's in the 1 versus 2. Good damage done. This is winnable, and indeed won. A 3K to close it out. Tom, that should have been FNATIC's round. When they get both of those kills, that's theirs lockdown. They have every angle covered. They have players trapped on site, but they were so eager to rush in and get that control that they threw it away.
I think both teams are... Well, for FNATIC's side, that's still a successful round. Like, you look at the purchase, they're coming back in. Magnum, he gets himself an Odin. Mitch is happy. You've got the operator as well onto Durka with full shields behind it as well. He's not skimping on anything. So they've still done a hell of a lot of damage, but you're right. They should have won the round. I think the fact that Boaster is able to take that control, and more worryingly, the fact that Liquid almost didn't expect anybody to be that deep at that stage. Like, you have not sent anybody in that direction for such a time that it is a scary prospect. Now, just as we said in the last round for Durka, well, I was expecting Yumpy to... I was expecting him to go for the ult orb and get his ultimate online. He has now got it online, Mitch. Unfortunately, he is also dead.
That was possibly... You know when Yassine said he does things you're not supposed to? I think dashing head first at Odin is probably like top of that list. Very, very close.
Suppressing fire.
Suppressing dash. He'll never... Like... I don't know how he thought that one was going to go, but not that way, I'm guessing. For Liquid, 2-man disadvantage. They got nothing to really play with here. I mean, you want to push forward, you want to take some control, but the spike is down. It delays them even longer. Okay, they're going to pop the ult. Completely blinded. Scream's in trouble. Shadow stepping out of there. It looks like they're going to be pretty safe. They'll avoid any damage being done, any real map control being seized, and Durka shuts Link down as he goes to push forward. This is an abysmal round from Liquid, really, on what could have been what is a very important one to win out. They only get 1 kill. That's perplexing.
Yeah, I think that the start of the round, again, this is what we talk about, like the good and bad of Yumpy. Like, there are moments where there's just pure genius, and then there's this. And it's a couple of times now where we've seen him put himself in positions where he is unable to shoot at an opponent off of the dash, which is Yeah, it's an odd one. Maybe expecting the wall to be spammed for a little bit longer, but either way, they get caught from it. And I think Liquid actually play very intelligently, or sorry, FNATIC play very intelligently to avoid any information being given over to Scream. So they don't even know where Durka is at this point. He could still be deep into long or exactly where he was. Now, I mentioned the possibility of the Bladestorm in the last round, and although he's taken a nasty hit from a shock dart, it is going to be invested into this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it bridges the gap nicely at least. That light control they've got, they can hold down for any sort of pushes forward and try to punish them on the closer angles. I don't mind this. Yampy obviously got tagged up by that shock dart early. The spams now. Here's the value of the Odin. Cryptic's taken down. We'll look for... Oh, no, Yampy! Right into Durka's operator, and that's the kill they needed. That's the advantage hugely in their favor. It is now only Pistols and even Magnum wiping them out with the double kill. That's just beautiful. And, well... What was that, man? I was kind of in my head thinking, oh, Magnum might even get the fourth here, and I thought, nah, there's no way that Link ends up surviving the first peak. That was really nice. Classic play. 3 headshots.
I swear my classic doesn't work like that. Like, I realize I'm bad at this game, but my classic is nowhere near that accurate. It would have hit the wall over to the right about 4 meters away from his head. Like, unbelievable.
I don't know that that's the classic.
Shut up.
Interestingly, my Vandal, my Operator, my own, every other weapon's like that too.
Why do you have to be so mean?
You brought up milkshakes, Tom. You started this.
Magnum, though, he's one of the people who's like committed. Oh, is this the counter Odin?
Counter Odin.
Yumpy's like, I'm not even buying the operator.
Let's go. Oh, so smart. Look, they're baiting him out in the front. He gets it as well. He even gets the kill through the wall. Magnum, he will not be countered today, sir.
Oh, Scream has just dropped his Odin, and a matter of seconds later, he finds an instant headshot. He's like, this gun doesn't do one taps. I'm not going to be keeping it. And while the aggression of Durka has actually been countered, this round is an absolute mess. It's been mostly just noise and laughing, but you know what? It's definitely been entertaining, that's for sure.
That is for damn sure, Tom. And yeah, look, it is a 4v4 as we come into the latter stages of the round. Less than a minute on the clock. Team Liquid, they had a little bit of control inside B main. They know that they shut down a player, but I think you're always going to be worried. That camera's back up online. You push forward. He tags you. That Odin's just going to spray you to bits. Could just randomly spam off as well. And they don't want to risk it after that early posturing. They're going to move to the A site. Coming up on 35 seconds on the clock. And for FNATIC, again, the retakes on A are the way they like to play it. And hell control is non-existent, really, when you're playing up against that Odin the way it's been worked. And there you go. And another reason that they're playing... Oh, no, that dart gave it away. But Solkas onto Doma is the only kill that comes in. They shut down the Phoenix ultimate, but it's a man disadvantage to play with now. As Magnum sprays away, he's done so much damage. Cryptix is just 2 HP now.
Well, it may seem like this man is randomly spamming, but I tell you now, he knows exactly what he's looking for. And they have invested the lockdown here. And he's actually going to go peeking into it. A little bit risky. Has to try and get out of the corner, and I think he is going to be detained. In fact, 2 players from the side of FNATIC have been caught. And Liquid, they're going to go hunting. They're chasing these remaining players down. The flank from behind, and Scream, he's just going pushing all the way through, but they get him straight back. It will be a response from Soulcast, and now just a lonely Odin trying to retreat back and save into the next round. It is a fairly expensive gun, so a repurchase wouldn't be ideal. He also only has 30 bullets, which shows he's been spamming a lot.
I was going to say, yeah, because he spammed B, then he spammed the A side, obviously, under Heaven, where he almost killed Cryptix. And now he's got 30 bullets left. But he survives on it. Carrying the weapon through. Very valuable, really, when you look at where the economy's at right now. You'll take every weapon you can get just to leave yourself in the lead a little bit financially. That was just sickening as well. The fact that Yampy was stood behind where the tag came through, it just ruined it. They lined up so perfectly. But there's no way to predict that. You would have to know where the Cypher was playing, exactly where he was standing.
All right, here we go again. Attempt 2 of the Yumpy Judge dash into the B side. Last time it went as badly wrong as humanly possible. He instantly died. Now he has a flash and is going to go for it again, and this time it's successful. Magnum's been caught. They're going to try and clear Doma from the back of the site, and actually, they have the Hunter's Fury invested. He's going to get caught from it. They managed to kill both the defenders. And while Scream, he's going to wait on the edge of the door. There's not going to be a fast rotation here, although Boaster is actually going to be there alongside Mystic, who does manage to drop one man down. This battle is just going back and forth, and somehow it's a 2v2.
Yeah, but it's Link. He's the key player here, coming right up behind. There's no way they expect it. And Mystic is left now. Bamboozled! What is that peak? It's a 1v1. The spike's not even planted. It was unnecessary, but Cryptix closes it out anyways. Team Liquid get the round just about. Another tight one, but 4-3 we go. Man, this is a real nail biter right now. FNATIC had that lead, but it's starting to slip away. Their game plan's not working, and I love the adaptation from Yampy there, because he puts down the cloudbursts to allow them to push through B main. I've never seen that before. I've seen tunnels of cloudburst, don't get me wrong, but not running through B main because they're scared of a Cypher camera and an Odin tag. That's pretty crazy.
These last 2 rounds are not good for my health. Like, the manner in which they're playing, they're so back and forth, and we've again got the entry fragging Judge into the site. Again, we're going to have this tunnel being created just to deny the utility. It doesn't work, though. They actually get caught. Yumpy's still going. Surely they must expect him to be... He gets away with the kill again. It doesn't make any sense, but the response from FNATIC is huge. Scream even going to flash himself in the face.
Oh,
no, nobody
man,
clip that and put that on some sort of unfortunate Twitter page, please. No one do that.
It always gets me, and the reason it gets me is just because we've seen it so much from people like trying out Phoenix, and it happens to me all the time, man. I don't usually play Phoenix. You see it a lot, but yeah. Well, was it Angel we saw?
Yeah, he did it the wrong way.
Yeah. That was, I think he had the argument that it was a fake flash. Who was it on A Heaven though? That like bounced it off and blinded his whole team. Lau, yeah.
Multiple
Lau,
times.
it always like, yeah, he instead of the Sage, he goes, picks up a Phoenix, flashes into a wall twice, and gets his whole team blind. It's nice to know that it can happen to anyone. But it always gets a chuckle out of me, man. It just looks so funny. You know he's thinking like, he sees that just before, it's like, oh
no, I'm gonna get memed for this, especially when it's Scream
play,
as well.
guys. Oh.
You know that people are not gonna be so forgiving. But yeah, I don't know, like, Yumpy is getting 1-for-1 trades with a Judge, like, most times now. And it must just be so frustrating to be the one guy on the other end. I wonder if that is something that genuinely has been taken into consideration, that we're going to try and tilt our opposition just by doing something so unbelievably ridiculous every round that they just get frustrated. The fact is, though, the response from FNATIC was solid. Like, they had a decent read on the situation, and now they're even starting to get more and more aggressive. Durka in the last round pushed into mid, maybe realizing that Liquid have actually been battling the extremities quite often, and because of that, they've been starting to leave a little bit of space. And FNATIC, you give them space, they're going to take it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too often there. Boaster pushes forward and gets taken out. But it looks like the trades are going to be in play. Solkus tapping away on the Ghost. He's close to a lot of those shots, but nothing that really can... Well, that one does, for sure. Dome is hurting after that. Oh, Scream. That wall is his enemy. It's his #1 enemy. You ask him after this, what was the hardest part about playing Ascent? It's like, the left wall on the way out. It hurt me a lot. Being revealed. No, there's nothing you can do there. There were players everywhere.
Well, he also didn't get time to actually get rid of the ping as well, so he was just getting tagged again and again, like, Scream is here, Scream is here, Scream is here. Like, there's no way that he was ever getting out of that one alive. I am liking the way that FNATIC, though, really are pressuring. Like, they're not allowing that space that I think Liquid have got used to playing against some other teams, like the respect that they've been given. As like, you look at the executions they get away with a lot of the time, you have Yumpy going first and you have Scream following up, but they don't have time to do that because Dirk has now pushed mid 2 rounds in a row, just looking to fight them, looking to get up in their face. There is definitely no fear from this man, and maybe that does come from playing CIS Valorant for a while. I'm sure there's plenty of aggressive players that had ridiculous aim, so he might be used to it by now. But this round, at least, you can see that they're actually watching into middle. They're peeking to see if there's anybody around this angle, and they're actually battling for the control now. But of course, look at the response from FNATIC. The switch up completely. Magnum pushes B, and they've already taken A control. They have so much map control, Mitch.
It's both Magnum and Durka pushed up on B. They get all that control. And as you said, Liquid had previously been battling the extremities. They condition them now of you have to take mid control or I'm going to push it. And then they push the extremities. It's like, it's just a complete mind game being played here. And it's working out, at least in the start of the round, very well. They do lose Boaster. Now, this is where FNATIC have to make a little bit of a gamble because they haven't got any information. They've lost middle, which is a very important part of this map at this stage of the meta. Liquid can easily just push on through and isolate a 1vx, but now there's two players in the rotate through spawn. They managed to at least get one out of that Scream ultimate. Magnum now isolated. They can't see the cross. Doma just got that for free. Magnum takes it onto Yami. There's a TP backside from Mystic, who's now there to support. And Link and Scream, they've got it all to recover. The spam's away. Doma's in danger. Looked like he was going to put up a wall or something there, but he didn't have it. I mean, don't know how he gets away with that. I'll be completely honest. I thought, oh,
I think he healed
obviously
himself.
He healed himself. Yeah, he did. I thought he was, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be a wall. He heals himself, gets caught with a classic out,
and still gets the kill.
Like, explain that one to me in slow-mo.
Spike down B.
Yeah, I think as well, you never really see a whole lot of value of the from the shadows for the defensive side other than what we just witnessed here, which is these fast rotations it enables. It means that you can gamble stack elsewhere and very quickly get in on that rotation. The only thing is you have to time it almost perfect so that the players are dedicated to the site and your teammate is not dead. Now, these shock darts that have been coming out, we saw maybe a little bit of a whiff of what was the info dart yesterday being shot straight into the wall, but so far Boaster has been doing incredibly well. Again though, it is going to be this A take, but they've been fairly happy to give that up and just play the retake, Mitch.
Yeah, they've done this a lot. I think probably more than half the rounds FNATIC have not had a single player on the A side. They're either pushing up and taking the fight or taking wine, or they're playing the retake, and that's a consistent feature of the FNATIC defensive side. And especially now they're up against the Killjoy that they have to pretty much go in there. They have to deal with that because the time that it's going to cost them, they go back and now they've got to fight back into the round. They need kills quickly. It's a 5v5. I mean, at this point, a lot of teams would even go for a save. They've plenty of money though, so why not? I don't know though, Tom, like with this much on the clock, unless they get kills immediately, they're in hot water, and that's perfect for the pistols to capitalize. Scream, good for the first, and look at this. FNATIC, they're lost. They're being torn apart by pistols left, right, and center. You never want to rush up against them, but despite a good attempt from Doma, he is going to fall in the end.
Yeah, for Liquid, they don't really lose much there either. Like, that was a Blade Storm along with mostly pistols. So for them, staying in with the spike and just making sure that nobody gets that defuse is absolutely fine. The same can be said for FNATIC, though. Like, okay, sure, they lose some weaponry, but the fact that no one gets out alive, it means all they really have to do is repurchase into this one. But yeah, the lockdown there, the late lockdown was perfect. To deny that much space being taken, it just worked for them.
I'll tell you 100%, Jonas is watching this or at some point. Hello, Jonas. He's probably watching it back on his stream in a few days. And he sat there going, if that was me, if he had my lineups, you know, it would have been fine. But it's not JD. So unfortunately, he doesn't have them.
Yeah.
But like that's where you need them. Or artists, yeah.
Or any other player that has used Jonas's lineups to punish Liquid.
Yeah, of course, Jonas has particularly sold those lineups. You know, he's made them specifically for those players.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's a traitor Jonas. Let's get that one spammed in the chat. Either way, 7-4. He's going to be covered for us, and both of us are small and weak, so I'm a little bit scared. But
he is muscular.
All right, Mitch. Thanks for that. 7-4. Fanboy here, Mitch man. But we're going to get this aggressive push in. But I like the change. The deeper wall is going to have to be broken. This gives quite a bit of information for the rotation. And also the fact that this time, Boaster, I was going to say, is more dedicated to the site, but he's been caught out. The Hunter's Fury from Soulcast makes things fairly awkward. Mystic does well, though, to bring one back. And actually, he's dropped a spike twice before the door closes. Maybe a little bit of an early cross held there, but unfortunately, the RNG has gone the way of FNATIC.
Not the team that you would want to have this. They already have the lead. 8 rounds on defensive side would be perfect for them to come in and upset Liquid on a map that looked certain to be going towards the horses. I think that's a typical thing. Scream, oh, you dirty man. He comes out with a double, and Link finishes it with the same. 7-5. That round was Fnatic's. You could feel it going their way.
sides.
And after the RNG at the start, Scream just said, screw it, I'll take it into my own hands.
These are the sort of rounds, though. Again, we highlight Scream all the time, but Link as well, just combining with him. This was a 3 versus 4 that within seconds they just end the round like it's absolutely nothing. And
Spike down.
yeah, up until that point, Fnatic did everything right. They make it really costly in the take of the site. They even lost a player to the Hunter's Fury as well, so to turn it into an advantageous situation was fantastic. But yeah, Scream, Link combine, and that is already round over. Now 7-5 is still a pretty damn good half for Fnatic going into this second half, and if they do convert themselves another pistol, well, it could be a little bit worrying. It is looking, however, like they're going to go for a fairly similar strategy. The only thing interesting me, Mitch, is the fact that they haven't picked up the spike.
They haven't, and they've left the Cypher lurking towards the B side of the map. So this is an interesting start to the round. Link is being spotted by that drone. They know that he's under heaven, but that's not really going to help them out as he can reposition. But you know what? So can they. Fnatic, they struggled with the retakes when it came over towards B. Whoa, that's a fight I didn't see happening at this stage of the round. Magnum was trying to get control, I guess, to open their options to move towards B, but that's not really worked out. And at this stage, you know, Fnatic, as I was saying, they've struggled with retakes over on their defensive side. They had a couple. I'm curious to see post plans now and how they hold on to them. Oh, Yampy. Oh, you don't know what you're in for, man. He's on your left. He's hiding up above as Durka gets a little bit more space for his team now. The slow orb forcing Link out of position underneath. And now they've decided, you know what? We can rotate. We can make a move.
Here. Spike drop.
I've left Cryptic still in middle. I think he almost might be prepared for this. He will hear all the footsteps. He does still have his turret as well, which will give away any pressure. The problem is the wall is going to go down and just block him off completely. Durka as well has managed to catch out Scream, and now they double back again into the presence of Link. He needs at least a couple here, and you know what? He finds them. Soulcast with another, leaving it into the 1 versus 1. It's going to be another close pistol, and the time is ticking. It's awkward. It's messy, but he does manage to move towards the site. The plant will be coming in, and you can see slowly the creep around from Cryptix. He's trying to bait him into think that maybe he's gone behind, and while the bait has worked, Doma's starting to try and clear those angles, but he has his back covered. He also gets the heal on board, and with the turret being placed, he knows exactly where his opponent is, and Doma will close out the second pistol for Fnatic. We spoke about this as a huge benefit for Liquid, but this time Fnatic get both.
Yeah, when you look back at some of the previous games the Fnatic have played, even just taking a glance back at the Icebox they played versus G2, or sorry, the Ascent that they played versus G2, it was a matter of Durka obviously dominating as we saw in that game, but Doma was another player who, without him, he was right hot on the heels of Durka. And of course you expect it from the Jet, but when your Sage is delivering like that, when the Res is just coming through again and again, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. With 8-5 on the scoreboard, Fnatic, they take the lead. The pistols we talked about going to Liquid, now in Fnatic's hands, and they need to do something about this. Yampy's shotgun doesn't have any impact on the round, and look at that! He's surfing down behind him! Solkas, embarrassed by that. But luckily, Cryptix is here to trade out. Has 2 kills pulled back. That's Liquid back in the round, and Cryptix still hasn't been dealt with. Scream in with 1 before falling. Okay, this is competitive, Tom.
Yeah, both players have actually made their way in towards the B site. They might still be expecting rotations here. Magnum gets the first. Does he expect Link? He goes for the clutch and he wins it again. Bucky FC are bitten by their own gun as Liquid break back with the force.
How has he gotten away with that one? The shotgun peek into the double kill. It's just a round overall, though. That's Cryptix that's the king of it. He gets the info here. I respect Link for the peak. He even gets lit down to 25 HP. But it's the play on site. If Cryptix doesn't get both of those kills, if he fails on even one, it is done. They get control, they get the plant, and then they hold off in post. But 8-6 now, Team Liquid, they've recovered the harder round to win. And now they're up against just pistols as Fnatic take an eco. This is exactly what they needed, a way back into the series. And that flash, so good right at the start in the molly. Doma goes down, and yeah, that's the way you deal with pistols, really. Get the map control, take it away from them right at the start before they get up close.
Well, yeah, Scream in this round almost looks like he's just farming up ult points. Like, that's already the run it back online for the next round. Sure, it might be an eco, but it doesn't mean those shots are any less filthy. And while Magnum trying to get things done with the Sheriff, but won't find anything. Liquid right back into this match now, 8-7, not a player lost. And as said, I feel like Scream just used that round to build up his ultimate, so I wonder how he's going to utilize it in this round.
I'm a little bit impressed, I'll be honest. Like, having the early round impact, early half impact Scream's already on after the kills in the first two, and now there. He has the ult, as you said, Tom. It's online, but it's not just that. It's like Cryptix, Link, they're right on the verge as well, and Cryptix's ult will be so impactful. For FNATIC, this is a round they must win. They're up against weaker weapons, but what I'm scared of, it's not the Phantoms that Sulcus and Scream have, nor is it the Spectres. It's that Judge. From Yampy, we've seen it used on the attack to net so much damage, and now we're going to see him use it up close, but he's being spotted. They saw that's a Judge in his hand. If they push this right now, which they did, they're crazy, but they're dealing with it perfectly. It was slightly ranged combat. They take a double. A-side's theirs, and that was even one of the Phantoms drop.
It'll at least be retrieved. Link will bring that back through, but an after plant, well, inevitable. The remaining players all pushing around tree, just trying to battle back at least a little bit of control. Now, weapon-wise, at least got both of the rifles, but they don't have a whole lot to get back into this. The Paranoia is probably the most interesting piece of utility, but with a wall blocking any sort of entry back into the site, they're going to have to break through this, and there's actually a player boosted up on top of it. Doma, I think, realizing that this might be a risk not worth taking. Cryptix does, however, manage to get the kill back in. So this is starting to look a little bit more possible, but the timing of both players falling puts this round to bed. Link, his clutches have been incredible, but surely this is a bridge too far.
Yeah, I think he'd have to get in contact with the Minister and pay up after that. Like, a 1v4, low HP for Doma and Magnum, it's not too likely, is it? Clutch King he may be, but saving a weapon's more important in this situation. Way he goes.
Yeah, the thing is, this will be a spot for Liquid, likely to be able to buy back anyway. Obviously, it's been a bit weird with how the loss bonus has been working because of the back and forth, because of the force buy victory and the inevitable save, but financially, Liquid are in a fine spot, and in fact, Yumpy's going to bring that operator to the table for the first time, and this is where the dynamic of the defense for Liquid changes quite drastically. This man is going to be roaming around different portions of the map, similarly to what we saw from Durka, who got quite aggressive in towards A-Long previously. But it also means that, well, likelihood is FNATIC will know this is coming, and with Durka looking to invest the Bladestorm, I wonder if he's going to try and be a little bit more aggressive in this style of round, similarly to what we saw in Icebox.
We'll see how we'll be navigating that one. It looks like cautious around mid at the very beginning. They've allowed the recon dart to just go out for the full breath, but with the bullet spotted heading towards it, they're throwing it out. And they've spotted him right off the bat. Know that his ult is popped, obviously, and so now they know where to be cautious of, but it opens up a bit more space. Honestly, once you see that, Yampy feels much more comfortable to move forward on the A side. He's got support coming up behind him. Might have a kill in his hands soon, or at least within his grasp. With Mystic up close. Does it keep going? It could be the flaw if he does. Checking the left corner. No, he doesn't! And so Mystic's able to grab the kill. No idea about the second player, though. That will surely be the death of him. The Omen v Omen fight, but no, he's going forward, Link! He had the perfect position, but he thought Mystic was rotating because of all the mid pressure and B pressure that was coming in. Oh, that's a huge mistake, and the A site now open for the taking.
There's only Soulcast left to try and defend it. He had some pretty huge multi-frags in the previous map, but this time he's going to get put in the dirt by Durka. Round over. There is nothing the remaining members of Team Liquid can do.
That is a bait smoke as well. Like, he put that there saying, come on, peek around the back of it. Think you've got space to push through just so he can take that kill. It's nasty, man.
There have now been a few rounds as well like this from FNATIC where it looks like they're directly countering Yumpy. Like, think back to the way that they played one of the more aggressive B plays. They put the drone in first, and then every single player lines up as a firing squad waiting for him to try and escape. This round, they leave Mystic behind at the top of mid, expecting somebody to try and get aggressive in this round. FNATIC are getting some pretty damn solid reads in the early stages of their attacking half, and the problem now, they're up to double digits. They're winning this round fairly clean. Durka, okay, sure. I think there should be a weapon for him. Yep, even an operator if he desires, but by the looks of it, it's not going to be picked up this time.
10-7, Tom. A map that, even though I came in predicting FNATIC, I did not expect them to win this map. This was one that I'm happy to write off, and rightfully so. But Liquid, they're falling behind. And this is where I really think it starts to weigh in on you, right? They almost had the first map. They definitely could have. Then coming into this one, FNATIC even made a couple of mistakes. They even gave away a few defensive rounds that I think Liquid were lucky to get. At least one comes to mind. And there's an argument for two, and at that point, they need to step it up. If this is another slow performance from Liquid like we saw in the first half, well, it's over and done with. And then the series needs a reverse sweep of 3 straight maps. That's damn tough versus a team that's playing as well as FNATIC are, especially if they have a read on you like they clearly do on this map.
Well, the thing to consider there as well is 2 of those maps are Bind and Haven, and we saw the interview yesterday from Boaster, and he was like, well, yeah, Bind and Haven, you can say those are FNATIC maps. So we haven't got to the FNATIC maps yet. We are looking at the non-FNATIC maps, according to their in-game leader. Sure, they are maps that Liquid can play as well, but that is not something that you really want to be thinking too much about. And you can see how methodical they're being. They are worried about players being aggressive at this stage, and they are making sure that nothing cheeky is allowed from Team Liquid. They are denying them space, and once again, they're going to walk into this A site, and the after plant is for free.
Yep, 100%. They can do with it what they want. They even have a lurker out towards mid in a position that previously caught Yampy completely off guard, and now they know he's pushing as well. He's being spotted by a tripwire. Yampy sideswiped. He can't get anything done in this series so far. And Scream, he'll do his best. He'll pull it back to a 2v2. A Killjoy ult is going to go through. Okay, this is now winnable. Both players out on long. A firewall comes in. Scream peeks off the back of it. The blind is there. The kill is there as well. He's got Durka boxed in on the corner, and he can't even see the defuse that's coming in. He's got to get the kill soon, and he doesn't get there in time. Scream with a 4K, single-handedly saving that round and possibly saving Team Liquid. They stop FNATIC from running away with potentially 12 rounds. It's 10-8. What a round by Scream.
Okay, I'm gonna call out something that Scream said yesterday, and I'm calling straight BS on it. This man said he doesn't know how to play or doesn't feel comfortable playing this agent. I feel like we've just witnessed him use every single piece of utility to perfection. Firstly, the Blaze to deny any sort of peek, the flash is coming behind it to make sure there's no push available, and then even using the Molotov at the end to deny them even further. He couldn't have played that better and gave his team the way into that round and killed 4 people while doing it. This is another showing of why we consider this man to be one of the best, and even saving his ult for this round where he's going to get, again, very aggressively towards A. And actually, this time they have to try and retreat. Yuppie! This shotgun is so damn strong. Oh, he has put judgment down upon them and leaves just 2 men standing for FNATIC. They were dreading walking into that shotgun eventually, and while now it's left onto Mystic, he was left lurking at the top of mid. It's a 1v5.
They didn't check the corner. Didn't check the corner this one time, and it's all punishment awaiting for sure. I can't explain, although I imagine everyone else feels it, how demotivating it must be to come off the back of a round where genuinely the spike being planted in front of the generator instead of down the side, they would have won that round. Scream not having 4 kills, they would have won that round.
30
Like a
seconds
spam
left.
through the smoke, had the spike being planted in front, they wouldn't have even had a chance of winning that round over on Team Liquid. And for FNATIC, they lost. A round that they definitely should have had, but it's okay. We'll bounce back, we'll buy up here, and we'll wreck them. They lose control of A, but they're like, okay, Phoenix is ulting A, let's go quick into B. And that's what awaits you. A judge
10
that
seconds
tears the hope of winning completely out of your hands, throws it on the floor, and steps on it. Now, well, all that camaraderie, all that built up. All right, guys, let's bounce back. Let's get this one. It's out the window, you know? You're in a down period. And honestly, after a round like that, you either get right back up on the horse, you have a plan, you're ready to go, everyone's there and pumped up, or you call that pause and take a little bit of time.
I love the fact that you can actually hear towards the end of that round that Yumpy picked back up his judge just to spam the remaining bullets into a wall and then picked up a rifle again. It's almost like putting out his mating call to try and get the last remaining player to walk into his corner. Like, There's a part of me that loves watching Yumpy play, and there is another part of me that absolutely hates it, because these are things that you just don't expect to be working. And he has put a 9th round on the board for them. When we talk about this 1-2 punch of this roster being Scream and Yumpy, well, that is 2 rounds that have now solely gone dedicated to them. Now, he's definitely having a quieter performance than what we saw versus BDS, but there is still time. And that's the thing. They now have the finances on their side. This is crunch time for FNATIC. They lose this one, and they're likely to either have to go for pistols. Maybe a plant can get them the extra cash that they need, but even still, it becomes a bit more of an awkward spot. But also, the fact is, in the last round, even in this round, they have had pretty decent reads on what Liquid are doing. And that's going to be so frustrating for them as a team. It's, okay, we knew they were going to do that, and it still worked.
We're coming out of a tactical pause, but surprisingly, it was Liquid that made that pause happen. After a round like that, I guess they were so pumped up on energy. Sometimes you got to take those pauses
calm
to
it
slow it down. Except, well, genuinely, yeah, calm down pauses are a real thing. I think a lot of teams disrespect Scream. He's being tagged and he's down Generator, but somehow survives. Just about alive on 40 HP. Yampy closes down the mid control. This is looking fantastic for Liquid. The buy from FNATIC, it gets them absolutely nothing. A flawless round as Liquid tie up the scoreline 10-10. This is exactly what they needed, Tom. There's barely any money for FNATIC. They'll get an investment, and thanks to them all dying so quickly, they'll still have full utility because they didn't really get a chance to use any.
This was basically a mid-pinch as well. But normally when you talk about a pinch, it's like multiple players actually making these sort of riskier pushes. In this round, it was actually Scream taking a swing, and then Yumpy a few seconds later, after they're all distracted, just finding a multi-frag as they tried to push towards A. They are getting into the rhythm that makes this team so truly terrifying. And there needs to be a response. Now, as you said, luckily, they didn't really spend much. Durka, he can save a little bit of extra cash and get that Blade Storm into this round. They have got to be careful, though. This corner from Yumpy, it's not been checked, and he gets away with a freebie. He's just playing cheeky angles, but previously, we were talking about the fact that FNATIC were able to catch him off guard. They were able to punish these risky plays. Over the last 3 rounds, he has now got them every single time.
Yeah, that's it. It's all about the momentum pick back up. It's all about Yampy being able to feel confident in his play, and he certainly is at this point. It's all about the Vandal for him is the surprising thing. You know, it's not the operator coming through. It's not the upgrades a lot of the time in this game. It's, well, yeah. But he's had a lot of money because he keeps buying those judges. So you could see that operator coming into play, but instead he's just being the bank of his team at a lot of times, being able to drop over teammates instead of being selfish and going for the scope weapon. But look at this, Boaster, he's already snuck up. The jump spot was there, but the timing on Boaster sneaking through was just perfect. There's a kill right away, though. Mystic is traded out by the hot hands that were thrown out just a moment earlier. A 3 versus 3, the TP to backside. That's right, Cryptix, that is your teammate Link, and he's here for a double kill. So it's lucky that bullet to the head didn't cancel his ult. Boaster's alone, and he realizes at this point, you know what, this could be all of them, but I've no time to rotate. So he has to run right into that firing squad and give 11 rounds to Liquid. Oh, FNATIC. I think it is time for a pause for them.
Yeah, this is the moment as well where you kind of look at the fact that they went so late into that play, and that's where that From the Shadows ult really becomes so powerful, because sure, maybe if Mystic survives that, you have to leave a remaining player lurking around to stop them just rotating all the way back, but they were so committed to the site that Link doesn't even question it. He's just able to rotate, and this is now a string of rounds coming in for Liquid. The momentum of that singular round we said that was won by Scream, and then the follow-up by Yumpy, it's completely changed everything about this one. Now they're gonna go through. You can see the drone instantly. It's trying to clear some of those closer angles. What is that shot from Yumpy? That is another entry. There's been so many opening kills coming up for him in the last few rounds. That is a good response, though.
Yeah, but there's still 2 players on the site. Cryptix here to support Yampy, and Scream quickly on the rotate. He's popping flashes to buy himself time, but he'd already used his hot hands, so 50 HP as he escapes out through middle. You hear him jumping, but Yampy goes huge! Everyone's dead except for Doma, who doesn't last too much longer. 4 kills for Yampy. That backstab was massive. 12-10, and Liquid, they fell off their horse, but they got right back on another one. Oh my.
I'm starting to question whether or not there's something like written in the contract of Yumpy that for the first like 15 to 20 rounds he's not allowed to use guns because it wouldn't be fair on the rest of his opponents. Like, it's actually just been ridiculous that he's gone, okay, I've got my amount of shotgun kills I have to get throughout the game. Sliggy, am I good to use a rifle now? It's like, yeah, I guess. It's a bit unfair, though. And he just killed everyone. 4 kills in this round. Made it look easy. Very aggressive peaks being taken as well. It has been a complete turnaround for the Finn. And FNATIC, they are looking flat. Nothing has been working for them over the last few rounds. And this is the last-ditch effort to try and now take this to overtime.
Yeah, now Yampy has finally pulled out that operator. He played with the judge. He played with the Vandal, but now after that 4K, they've said, all right, go on. Get your weapon out. You've earned it for 1 round only. Yampy with the operator pushing up, looking for a victim, but he finds nothing. A bullet to the head. A wall bang, in fact. As now FNATIC have that man advantage. What do they do with it? They're pressuring mid. They've pressured A. Liquid don't have a lot of information to play off of, but they're happy for a solo B hole because look at the amount of utility in play on the B side. Everything from Killjoy is here. So all they have to worry about is jump spotting mid. That said, that's backfired in the past for Solkas. This time he's been much more cautious of it as he rotates to A.
They do also have Link getting a bit more aggressive over onto A, so they should know that at least deep control is going to be theirs. This paranoia could be so valuable for them. The dash actually comes through, and Durka, he's completely blind, but he just carries on the play. Scream is already going to shot one down, and now they have a perfect crossfire. This push just wouldn't be worth it, and FNATIC realize it. They're going to try a last-ditch effort. Now, this comes down to Cryptix. If he could take one, he could drop the spike. This round is over. He wins it for them on his own, but he's hearing all the footsteps. Actually, there's a Hunter's Fury as well, and now the timing could it be better? That's the spike on the floor! I think he might have just done it. The time is going to be so ridiculously close, and they don't have it. Liquid take this through. It's Cryptix to end this map for FNATIC, and they will get themselves that big
FNATIC comp. We've seen, you know, the likes of Ascend sort of try and switch things up, but no, they haven't got the same kind of results. But Yampy, very, very, very likely to lock in the Jet there, Tom.
Yeah, this is it looks like the classic bait. I will say it would be quite interesting if he did then lock in, just because it would have been one of those things where I think it was actually FNATIC who said, yeah, you can't play this comp without a raise. Well, they're going to do it once again. But yeah, as said, Scream, I love the
mid, and this looks like a faster paced start.
Yeah, maybe going to try and make things a little bit more surprising for their opposition. If you're expecting these slower plays, then let's try and pick up the pace a little bit. And they are. They're going straight up for an execution into this A site. And with the smokes already down, I don't think there's much that can be done. The only risk is Yumpy. What? That is ridiculous. Magnum's just been owned, but there's been a quick response.
What the hell was that from Yampy? We said this guy's a participant in most opening duels, and he's setting records right here, at least attempting to. Team Liquid having a retake now. Spike down in the open, but here's the problem. You've still got Snake Bites? What? Snake Bites to play against. As you come back in for this retake, they've got to be aggressive. They've got to be fast. We were talking to Yassine about this earlier, but that leads them right into the hands of Durka, who shuts down the first. A 4 versus 3. Time is ticking. Another Snake Bite lands. That's it. Utility's gone, but they've already delayed so much time. They've got the man advantages. Cryptix has taken double damage, which makes it all too easy. With Scream on 40 HP, there's pretty much no way that this goes the way of Team Liquid. The pistol round is FNATIC's, and Scream falls to close it out.
Yeah, I don't mind the response from Liquid in the early round, especially Yumpy just trying to get in on the action as soon as possible. And as I said, disrupt the plan from FNATIC. The fact is, though, it's one of those situations where they are just so good the second they get into an afterplant that I'll be honest with you, Mitch, the second that spike went down, I was like, good luck. Like, that's where I start to almost be in disbelief. And I was actually expecting Scream to maybe be a little bit more aggressive. Like, he was on that A site the entirety of the time. I was thinking, okay, when is this man going to go through the smoke and try and stop them? He waits for the retake, fair enough, but it just doesn't work out.
And I have to say, the way that we see the counter of that kind of play come through, as we said, was that fast, aggressive play. But the problem is FNATIC, they set themselves up in these positions for post plants where they can consistently trade out. Now, right away in the start of this round, we've got a kill coming in for the defensive side. They've gone for 4 bookies outside of that pistol. That's going to make it very hard to go for a retake if they set up in post plants. They can initiate nothing but long-range engagements, and for Liquid, that will be very, very bad. already. The utility has been set up, but
Excuse me?
halfway diffused. It's not even landed yet. That's dangerous. He
What?
missed it all the way. He's just stuck it. Oh, what a mistake. FNATIC weren't set up on time for the post plants, and even though the kills come their way in the end, they've lost the round. That's absolutely ridiculous, Tom. I was waiting, like I see him go for the stick, and I'm like, it's all right. The snake bite is about to land. It's about to, it's on its, no, it's come, no, where is it?
See, your scene earlier was saying like, oh yeah, if they know the counter to this sort of play, then you know that maybe they'll be able to take this one. Well, I don't even think he would have predicted that. Just, you know what, the plan all along is what you do is you defuse before any of the utility lands. Then it can't stop you.
Deploying drone.
You don't expect it. You never, ever expect that. And with 4 bookies as well, they stood no chance in the ranged fights. If anybody peeked on mid, it was the easiest set of kills of their life. It looks like FNATIC want to do the same thing, but they're running right into Phantoms this time. Scream, only good for 1. Okay, nade goes down. That's going to do a lot of damage to Soul because it pushes him into the open. Free kill, stun is good, Link is down. Oh my god. FNATIC, they bounce back. And Mystic is already in, or should already be on his way to those post-plant positions the second that he puts that spike down because he's got the snake bites. But he decides to stay on the side with his teammates, get the heal off Sky. Doesn't want to play the low HP game inside the smoke. The spam is good. And Mystic, oh, thankfully he's able to get that done, leaving Yampy by himself. And I could feel that kill going his way. I felt it in my gut. But 2-1 we go. FNATIC. It made the recovery on what was a... I don't even have the word in my vocabulary to describe that second round. I really don't.
I have the word, but it's one I'm not allowed to say on stream.
Well, yeah. I don't have a suitable
Cluster
word for this
something. You can work out the rest.
Enemy remaining.
But yeah, this is a 2-1 score. Ultimately, we've got to the point sort of where we expected to be. It is FNATIC in the lead after winning the pistol, and now they're going to use this as more of their bonus round, although they do have a fair few rifles available to them. Thus far, though, they are just going A. You can almost see just on the other side of the map, Yumpy just like singing I'm Mr. Lonely, because no one has gone in that direction whatsoever. And once again, they're just going to be looking to clear things out. They got the Hunter's Fury. They are making sure that this time there is no risk, and even a man running through the smoke with a Bucky is not going to stop them this time.
I thought that my main point at the end of this round would be like, oh, we saw there the lineup for the snake bite, which was really nice outside of bathroom with the nade on top. It forced Link out of position. He got picked off. But in fact, the main point of question that I have is, what's I'm Mr. Lonely, and can you sing it for me now, Tom?
Absolutely not.
No.
It is a great song by Akon. It's just Mr. Lonely. But the lyrics are... we'll move on. We're moving on from Akon. I think he's famous enough that people should know the reference, and either that or maybe I'm just old. But 3-1.
Could be that.
Yeah, that might be. I'm not even that old. I feel like I'm one of the younger people on this broadcast, which is surprising considering I look about 40. But 3-1.
He's only 38. Put his number up on screen right
Sue's
now.
actually 52. That's what people don't realize.
Oh, as you said, Tom, it is 3-1. FNATIC, they're in the lead despite a shaky. Let's use that word. Let's use the word shaky. That's a nice word. Start to this map. Team Liquid, they're on the full buy this time, and with the weaker weapons FNATIC have, you're talking a Spectre, a Bucky as well. It's not the end of the world. They can still take a lot of fights on range with those Vandals. They can try to close in the distance with smokes and cancel out the operator. And in fact, Yampy is playing B with that off. So they don't even need to worry about it per se. Showstopper pop. Blink. Ooh, he lets him go through, but that's just going to be communication to his teammates while he capitalizes on the kills. The showstopper pop, but nothing found. Mystic, the only one to find a kill here. Solka's still dancing around, and he's no! Even cancels Viper's Pit. Even goes for more in its damage. But it might not be enough, Tom. Yampy's the last alive. He has to pick up a Vandal to go for this retake, and that makes a cue, a sound cue. They know where he is. The flash to heaven confirms he's coming down below. He's already out, though, that heal that's currently in play. Yampy, he sees the head, but I think he's not being spotted. That's a kill on Adoma for free. A 1v1. Yampy is such a strong individual. No armor after going for that operator, but maybe he can get away with this kill. The headshot. Oh my god, that's a brave move. What the hell? He said a 1v1, and he just dash up, draft. What was the plan, Tom?
You don't know the classic flying headshot? Like, God.
He thought it was an op. He must have thought that was an op. I don't know how, but he must have thought it was. Surely.
I don't think so. I think he's just insane, and I'm starting to enjoy it.
Hey, you seen back? I need that explained to me. Oh my God.
Well, he was going for the flying one tap. That was the plan. I don't care what you say. The plan was the flying one tap and to make sure that Magnum missed. That was the goal. I love the gall of the way that he plays this game. That is it. The stones this man has.
We've spoken a bunch about how he plays. We've backed it up with statistics. We've seen it again and again coming into the last 2 maps, but that still catches me off guard. My God, man. There is nothing that Yampy is afraid of. That's for damn sure.
Well, 4-1. FNATIC convert their lead. That was an investment as well. And
toxin screen down.
Again, a lot of the plays that are being made by Liquid are basically trying to like hide behind walls, hide in smokes. They're taking huge risks in an attempt to try and disrupt these afterplants. That's sort of what I think Yassine was getting at. Is more that trying to deny them the opportunity to get into this position. We are going to see the Seekers thrown out though. Now in a round like this, it's basically to try and just clear out some of these closer angles, find out that information and not allow any sort of response to come through from Liquid. They have made things a little bit more costly, but they are slowly cleaning things up and spotting the remaining couple of players on the other side of the map. They are going to use the teleporter to get themselves out of there. Now Mystic is incredibly low on HP, and with Magnum down, there's no chance for that HP to come back.
And obviously with Mystic being 5 HP, he's going to play the heavy post plant. Good kill onto Sulcus as he pushes through. I like the attempt. But this will probably be just a save from Cryptix. Even with the damage done, you're not going to want to risk that Phantom. By the way, a beautiful spam going on in Twitch chat. It's literally my favorite. What the hell are both of these teams doing? I'm unranked and I could still compete better than these guys. It's like, I can't believe I'm being held back by my teammates this bad. Any orgs, feel free to DM me. I love that. So I'm Iron 1. It's my teammates. I've heard that a lot, mainly from Dinko and you, Tom.
I don't know what you mean. I love every teammate I have in matchmaking. In fact, they are all my friends now, especially the ones that are muted and I'm not able to talk to.
Oh yeah. Those are,
love those guys. Real personalities.
Like even though they're not allowed to queue ranked, they're coming in and just muting themselves. They're like, nah, playing my music on and no game sound. Let's go. It's the way.
This is where I want to see a response from Liquid though, Mitch. It's been all fun and games. We've seen some true insanity, but there's no real excuses anymore. The operator's back in play for Yumpy, although I will say, well, other than the rotation we just saw of them going to be, he hasn't had much to do because they haven't gone towards him. They have gone towards the A site initially in almost every single round, and I wonder if that's just going to come in as conditioning later on. Much more of a default round out though, and this time Durka, he's waiting on the other side, and well, with the shot coming through, I don't think he's going to peek that again.
I don't think so. No, that's kind of enough of a warning shot for you to learn your lesson. Link in the smoke. There's the barrel that's free as can be, and he's good to spam on it as well. Of course, having the Phantom, he can take those couple of bullets and try to grab a kill. Magnum shut down. Oh, FNATIC. This is a round that I didn't expect to go quite as convincingly, shall we say. Oh, Doma. That's such good damage. They know that he's up close, and so Link stands not a chance. The plan to come in, and this could leave them in a very good spot for post plants. Already Mystic wants to go back and get the control, but look who's on the longest flank you've seen. Yampy coming around through Bath, but they want to reposition themselves. They're moving in towards, I presume, I thought it was the spawn, but no, they're going lamps. They're just grouped up inside of there.
And knowing that Liquid will probably expect them to be going for all of these lineup afterplants, Yumpy's cleared all those positions, and I wonder if they're just going to be confused at this stage as to where they'll even be playing. Starting to try and clear out the bathrooms, and the push comes back through. Yumpy, the dash again. He's been punished so many times for the dash into these positions, and now it's all up to Cryptix. They maybe expect him to be on the plant, but Doma with his spam ends up killing him in the smoke. It's another round for FNATIC, showing once again why they're so terrifying on these attack-sided rounds. And in this time, it wasn't even for what we would call the norm. It was more just for their adaptation when it came to the late rounds of not going for their normal play.
Spike
This has been
down
a questionable round, let's put it that way. The way it started, man, it was like push through smoke, walk up in bats. Walk up in bats is a bit more acceptable because they were going to go for the mid burst anyways. But that really confused the hell out of me. Doma, the hero of the round, pulling it back. 6-1 we go. And as Team Liquid come in with what you would usually refer to as a weak buy, because they've got two judges, with how they've been using them so far in the last two maps, this is a full buy. About as full as it gets. Now, they know the judge is there, Tom. They know it. Surely they don't. Oh, he's facing them. You cannot predict what Yampi's going to do. It's not possible. Like, he plays just absolutely ludicrous game. He knows there's a rifle on the other side. He's going to peek it again. I can feel it. Look at him. Let him go.
It's definitely it's something. I think that's the only way to describe it at this stage. It is something. It either works or it doesn't, and we're just gonna have to live with that. Now, they finally decided to go B, Mitch. Maybe this will be the change that was needed from Liquid, because they do have the right players in the right positions. 3 waiting. The Seekers, though, and Yumpi's gone. He tried to play around the edge of the smoke. He was given away by the ultimate. Cryptic's playing a bit of an off angle, but, well, why change things, really? If one site's so trusty, so successful for you, why change things? The only real worry is the position of Soulcast. This could be a problem.
Oh, it definitely could be. They won't expect it. Link, oh, he's coming in behind them as well. They turn to deal with Soulcast and get a judge to the back. Link in trouble, but it might not matter. Magnum is the last man alive. Rez comes in. But Link being so low, that's... Oh, nice stuff, but no time. And especially not with the molly on the floor. That's it. The round is over. And it's been won out by Liquid. They've got a second on the board. Tom, I don't know if you've seen, but since I read out that spam, it's gone a bit wild. I think we need that one. You know, my mom gave me this laptop. It's overheating. Please stop the spam.
You've ruined chat, is basically what you're trying to say. You've
I'm
made
sorry.
it worse.
I would like to apologize to everybody.
The fact is, like, you're trying to rule a chat which is already completely controlled by Pansy. And, like, we talk about how Anders over in CS controls the simulation. Well, I am almost certain he controls all of the simulation except for Twitch chat, which is exclusively Rat Jam. So, 6-2. We see a response, but I'm not convinced by that round. It's one that comes through based off some solid positioning from Liquid, that's for sure. But I wonder if they can actually stop just a straight-up A take. And you know what? I think they're questioning that as well. It is a 4-man stack. They are putting the majority of their defense here. They have left Yumpy alone. No, not with an operator, of course not. It's the judge as the solo defender. If they were to make a play through Hookah, they'd probably be in quite a bit of trouble. But in this case, at least... it is looking like another A take.
It is indeed. Yeah, as you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And although it did kind of break down in the previous round, they're feeling that this time Soulcast up close. This is the perfect fight. This is exactly what he wants. The wolf goes out. It's clearing it. Did it spot anyone?
I don't...
On my screen, it didn't. Possibly on the map, but I don't think it did.
Let's hope his vision is better than ours, because I don't think he saw anything either. So
he flashed it there and he got the info, so...
yeah.
Okay.
So he at least knows there's somebody there. Again, looking like this split. Now, Link has done well to at least make things awkward on this take. That's been the attempt, and this time Soulcast, okay. It may be a Spectre, but this has gone flawlessly. They've lost a couple of players along the way, but now Durka has so little time. 15 seconds caught in a slow, and he doesn't have the spike eventually. Just trying to escape the clutches of his opponents. It screamed to put him down. Again, the start from FNATIC, almost flawless, but Liquid are clawing things back just like we saw on the last map.
Let me just quickly clarify as well on that wolf play that Soulcast went for through bathroom. I'm sure there's going to be question around like, well, why did he jump so soon, right? Why did he go in for the dash? It's because he didn't clear the right side of the smoke and he hadn't cleared close left. Someone could easily have walked through and just kill him while he's in the wolf. So he had to do it pretty quickly when that smoke was down. I think it was a good play just to get the info. Like 9 times out of 10, if they're there as they were, he sees them. It's just he just got unlucky that time. But yeah, it was a good idea not to just stay in the wolf. I like it. 6-3. Team Liquid defense A side under threat. Oh, orbital strike, but no utility to block them out of lamps in the close left corner. So Solkus, he survives that easily. That's a big mistake. Good for... Oh, what? They traded those back and forth. I didn't expect that. That was an almost flawless peak. A flawless setup. And yet they're left at a man disadvantage. Yampy up drafting. This time he's got the knives to do the damage. But Scream's left alone. The one-tap king. He gets it after a few bullets onto Durka, lighting him down low. But Mystic comes in and challenges. The crown is his. 7-3. Oh my god. That was a Ferrari peak.
I don't even know if he meant to do that because he ran through the teleporter afterwards. That was built, you're just like, you know, while I'm running away, I'll just tap one bullet at him and just see if he gets the kill. I really want to see that again. That was nuts. A response from Liquid to put them further back into the lead. They've won the half as a minimum, and we know that their attack side, it's definitely the stronger, if not one of the strongest of any of their maps. Again, Yumpy going to be left on this shotgun. I am genuinely starting to believe my own theory of the last map, that he has to get a certain amount of kills with the shotgun before he's allowed to get a kill with anything else.
I mean, that's it. He's got a quota. He has to get those kills. Otherwise, no, you can't. Like, it's like gun game for him.
He has to upgrade it.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like, he gets a few with the Vandal. It's like, all right, dude, go on, get the operator for a round. Once he dies, he has to go back to a shorty.
Your trail.
Liquid just...
Interesting. This is a fake. They've used the Seekers over onto the A site, but in reality, it is a push into B. The rotation, as said, we were looking at the conditioning of this team. And the fact is they've gone to the A site so often that you already see the rotation from Cryptix, although he has managed to get himself back. We're also going to see the Viper's Pit. That's an important kill, though. That at least garners them extra control. That's... Again, what? Just pushing all the way into the hands of Boaster. The control of Hookah is now gone, but the rest of the team has arrived.
Well, Cryptix, the spray with the Vandal, it's a dangerous thing, man. They see those tracers, they fire right back, but Scream catches one behind. That's a weapon to be retrieved. A 2v3, that's very, very winnable. And for Solkus, he still has a flash, still has the Wolf. Staying alive is going to be more important than finding a kill right now. He can play support for Scream as he goes out to make another 4K clutch. We've seen him do it in the past. Now the Wolf destroyed from long. That's his first target acquired and deleted right away. But now the support is gone. It's got to be all Scream. Showstopper heard, popped, but not finding a victim just yet. It's not being fired out. They don't even know he's long by the looks of things. They get the info eventually. Scream. I think his time is gone. Oh, they've actually let the Viper's Pit fall. They didn't stand inside of it. It doesn't matter. Time is too low. Scream will just save this and try to make it as costly as possible for FNATIC. If they do come towards the teleporter, they're going into spawn. So we'll see them save over the weapons. 8 on the board for the attack. Oh, Mystic died. Okay. Still, I don't think it's going to affect them all too much.
Last
Yeah,
round
I think again we see the same usage as like some of the matches yesterday, where that ultimate was almost just used just to stop Scream from pushing. Like, he can't do anything there. If he goes running in, they hear the footsteps, there is a very small chance he survives the showstopper, and they don't even really go looking for any sort of kill. I also wonder if the Viper's Pit was intentionally dropped just in case he was hiding inside it. Like, I think that was one of the only ways they lose the round, is the edge of the spike. They can't clear everything, so letting it drop gives them far more information, and the time had basically gone. So maybe it was, maybe it wasn't intentional. We will probably never know. More importantly, though, Yumpy is getting aggressive once again, and it really has been 50-50. This time, unfortunately for Team Liquid, it has not gone his way again.
Yeah, I think the aggression there, it's not too bad. Just the timing and the guy already being up post box, not really read into that much. As we said, timing is going to be one of the main struggles for Yumpy. He's got the individual skill, but learning the limits is the main problem. The old pop by Scream, big, but not only does Doma stop it, he even takes down Cryptix. The flash blinds up Solkus, who's able to follow through on the kill nonetheless. Man advantage only ×1. This isn't amazing for Team Liquid, but it's workable. Solkus has maneuvered his way around the back of Elbow, but he's stomped like an elephant on his way, so they know he's up close. They should be ready, and indeed they are not, because Magnum seemed to be asleep on that kill. A Spectre swing, a good frag, and even though we have utility coming in, there's still plenty of time. Mystic is last alive, 1v3. At the... Oh, Scream, come on, man! Just ridiculous. He couldn't have spammed it anyways because of the wall, but for Scream to wall bang him. Man, 8-4. Liquid holding on.
Yeah, I wonder if that was an intentional adaptation from Liquid as well to try and hold onto the wall, because something they were doing in a lot of the previous rounds was to try and put it down on the A side of the map just to deny any mid control and give more of a chance for Link to battle. But after FNATIC started moving in towards B, it looked like they kept it. Now, the main point of that round was that, again, Screen just like toggled on and managed to headshot most of the people trying to hold on to their guns. But I do like the fact that they clearly had a plan. I don't know if it was used in an attempt just to stop him being able to spam, or if it was to try and deny any of the drops, but I think it was mainly just to try and stop any spam from Hookah in the latter stages. So good work from Liquid to finally get another round. Now we need to see them get off to a good start here, because if they lose the pistol, excluding maybe a risky force buy, they're going to be 10-4 down, and I would still expect the last few rounds to go to FNATIC.
Following the molly, I like this. All the way over towards the elbow. There's going to be a faster push from Team Liquid, dashing out towards the site for one. Oh, he goes back into the molly. That's so good, man. He didn't hear it go down because Doma was on long when it first landed. So he thinks he's free, and he's like, wait, what? Why am I on fire? Why am I losing health? What's going on? That's beautiful.
Boaster, though, has been able to find one back. We're seeing how deadly these upgraded pistols can be. The Frenzy's found one, the Ghost with another, the Trade comes back, but Mystic has found one more. It's left all onto Soulcast, an instant headshot with the Classic, but he's going to need himself one more, and it can't quite come through. The execution, the idea, the plan from Liquid was almost flawless, but they don't win the duels. And I actually want to add a little bit, because they had 2 mollies. There was a second one actually on the right hand of the site, clearing out the other cubby as well. So it was a brilliant execution off of the molly that they had off of Scream, and the one that obviously came out from the Brimstone as well. But unfortunately, it just came down to the retake, and all the shots connected by FNATIC.
It's so good, though, because it got a kill there, but the purpose of that isn't to get a kill. The purpose is essentially the same as the hot hands they put down on the right. It's so that those players cannot be on those angles. You do not have to peek or be worried about a player coming out of elbow, because he can't. Not while that molly's activated. You saw what happened to Doma. But in this case, it served the secondary purpose of also killing Doma as he ran backwards and had no idea what the hell was going on. That's really, really smart. And I love seeing utility usage like that. Generally, you would use a smoke, but that's taking it to the next level.
Oh, this round at least is looking like a more likely conversion than what we've seen previously. Not such a heavy investment coming out from Liquid, and they're going to have to try and pull off a miracle with the pistols. They really are making some pretty awkward angles for the side of FNATIC, though, forcing them into the corners, but the rotation's already here. Now, the spike yet to be planted. I almost wonder if it would be worth trying to double back, but they've even thought of that too, because there's a player still waiting in Hookah. Yumpy, though, is actually the first one to get a kill. They've got to be careful here, Mitch. This is falling apart.
Yeah, it's all about Magnum, though. Look at that. He's holding them as they push out. The flash is there, and the kill awkwardly afterwards. Solkas left in a 1 versus 2, and Magnum with the big play that keeps them alive. Looking for double digits on the board, and only Solkas stands in the way with his Sheriff as he comes through that teleporter. Certain death awaits him, but hold on, that player's inside the Wolf. Now they know where he is, and the flash out opens the door for him, but, well, it's not a fight that he should be winning. That Spectre should take him down pretty quickly. You can see how cautious he is about the swing, but goes out at the wrong time. 4 kills for Magnum, saving what should have been a relatively easy round. I think it's worth mentioning, obviously, but... yeah. In the end, they get it at least. And with a 10-4 lead, they don't have to sweat it too much.
Yeah, it's almost a shame that they kind of almost overthought it a little bit. Because it's one of those rounds where you can completely understand why Liquid went for the rotation, but you then have to look at the other side of the coin and think, well, the fact that FNATIC was so prepared for that to come through, you have to give props to Magnum, but take away the fact that they lost most of the duels on the site itself. So... 2 rounds now that I think, in this half at least, Liquid could have taken. Like, the pistol, great idea. Unfortunately, the execution of the afterplan didn't work. And now, in this case, lots of opening picks, but Magnum's the hero of the round. So now they're looking at a 6-round deficit and only 3 needed for FNATIC to take home bind.
Give themselves that nice lead. You know, you look at it from this point forward as a BO3, and you've, in theory, you know, normally got the pocket picks out of the way, but Link Scream, hello. That's a nice start to the attack side for Liquid. Obviously weak weapons for FNATIC. We have to keep giving that caveat up on top of the tube. That was almost a play from Boaster, but he's spotted. And now, whoa, Mystic, okay, this game's still on. This round isn't decided just yet. Mystic, Durka, in with more. This is starting to look fantastic. What a retake already. Durka, the 1v1 versus Scream. Low on ammo, and he gets it done. A 3K. FNATIC walk away with the round win. What's going on, Tom?
Let's move on to Split. Let's move on. There's no coming back from that. They had a flawless execution into the site. They get every single opener they needed. They win the battle on long. Mystic then does this, which, okay, sure, that's a bit of a blip on the radar, but Durka cleans one up with a shock dart and then gets the remaining two on a Spectre. Like, we talk about these huge individual plays yesterday coming out from the likes of Scream. You talk about Link as well, having a phenomenal performance. Yumpy added into the mix. They're now having to face the music themselves of the same thing happening to them. It's a little bit of karma.
Oh!
What?
Come on, man. Up comes Yampy. He's like, I'll avenge my fallen brother, but maybe you won't. The blast pack's buying space, the nade, forcing the push or the fall back, and indeed, it's the second one that comes on through. That wall, I don't know, was fully intentional. And we see Doma taking down Yampy. At this point, Liquid, they're going to have a hard time holding on to this. They try their best to hold on to it by just pushing straight on up. Yeah, it's not really worked out, has it?
I love that you can tell from Doma, this is one of those things of like, you tried to kill me with a shotgun. You are not killing me with a shotgun. Like, he was so ready for that swing every single time that Yumpy went for it. Even went in with the BM to spam him down with a shotgun, picked it up just to drop it again. But yeah, solid round as well from FNATIC. Like, these are the ones that you want to be keeping squeaky clean. And normally, again, in other FPS games, we talk purely about the economy of the actual credits. But in this game, we're also talking about ultimates. Now, sure, there's a fair few online. But if you'd given Yumpy the Blade Storm and added in the res for Link, that would have only been extra problems that they would have had to deal with in this round.
12-4. Flash comes out, and Cryptic's, well, he's not going to get into too much trouble for it. I'm almost like conditioned now by seeing like those flashes come out, any sort of aggression. I'm like, oh, yep, he's going to push out a hookah. I'm like, no, he's on the other side. Calm down. I feel like for FNATIC, it must be so much worse. Oh, Doma, that's a good position, but he's spotted. Now grabs one. They don't know where he is inside this smoke. He's playing it sneaky and pops the showstopper. Oh, good. No! Oh! What's just happened? Cryptics, I thought he was dead for sure. Doma looked away, still got the kill and traded it out. That one was a real butt clencher in FNATIC. Well, they're going to have to rotate quickly to the A site because Team Liquid, well, they've made noise. They've taken the TPs, but hold on. Are they even going to go in? They might be going back through the teleporter, and I think they are. Around the world strategy, potentially. They've heard the players up close. They know that they're already here, but Durka using the sound to mask his steps. He gets a kill. They're up close already. The wall still provides an angle above for Magnum to take the fight. He's spamming it down and stopping them from planting. There's so much being done here to keep Team Liquid from being able to get that plant and pull a player back into the round, but now it's up and they're going to go and try to resurrect. But look, he's in the open. 3v1. I don't think this is good anymore. FNATIC had this in the palm of their hands, but that res has changed the course of the game with Mystic left to try and take the 1v3. He's got barely any ammo and no access into this.
He's hit some pretty crazy shots so far. The last retake began with him pulling off something we didn't really believe to be possible. The push through, though, from Link will end his life. A lot of ultimates used there for Liquid to make sure they get that through. I think also the minor detail of they actually stopped planting the spike to make sure they got that res off. It definitely had its risks behind it, but making that into a 3v1 was so worthwhile. I don't know, like, it definitely looks dicey. I'm not sure I'm completely impressed by a 360 showstopper. Like, I don't think that's, like, quite as good as a 360 no-scope, but it still looks pretty cool when Doma does it. Unfortunately, he loses his life. Also investing the Seekers as well, so both teams putting a lot into that round. Liquid, they're clinging to life, but they have still got a very long way to go.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? We're talking 7 consecutive rounds, and even this one, they don't get any sort of advantage in. Yampy, as we said before, it's basically a right. Oh, hold on, that molly. It's going to keep them out in the open. It's going to make them fight. The Scream wants to initiate. flashes coming around, blinding these guys up deep, and now they're pushing the side, taking advantage of these players locked out. This is so nice. Those guys pretty much, they have to take the TP or just keep on fighting, and TP it is. Free plant. Really well handled engagement by Team Liquid, and Yampy now has exactly the engagement he wants. He gets to hold up close. They're going to smoke so he can push inside of it, and hello and good night. He never expected. He also has his ult, and it's already popped.
Well, FNATIC know that an extra pick here could be so valuable, but it also gave a little bit of time. Magnum has made his rotation. The problem is there's not really any angle for him to fight on, and actually the peek comes out from Cryptics. That's all the information they need. They now know exactly where Durka is. They know where Magnum is. So if they lose this round, I'm not going to lie to you, Mitch, I'll be a little bit disappointed, because they really shouldn't be in a position to lose it. Durka peeks out, the Wolf has to be killed, and Cryptics will close things out with the triple. It's a 6th round, although it was definitely a little bit too close for comfort. Some good utility usage from Liquid is going to help them through.
But it does just feel like delaying the inevitable, Tom, doesn't it? FNATIC, 6 rounds, 6 chances to close this out. And look at the investment that was made from Liquid in that. I mean, they had such a good read at the very start. Those hot hands used. I think Scream has used hot hands in better than anyone else I've seen.
No, he doesn't know how to. What do you mean? He doesn't feel comfortable in this age.
Yeah. Hasn't got a clue how to play him. He just has some of the best utility usage on that agent I've ever seen. But yeah, he should probably swap back. Probably play a Yoru instead.
No. 12-6. The climb back continues. Everest is becoming shorter by the second. Maybe one day Mitch will be able to climb it, although seems a little bit unlikely. Yumpy, he's just going to play contact in this round. Looking to try and make the play for the team. It is going to be an early trade, and he continues his push forward. The judges being pulled out for the other side as well, maybe looking for a little bit of revenge. Magnum in prime position. Yumpy is bitten by his own gun, and they're just going to have to Molotov off Magnum and try and get this into an afterplan. But there's a counter all themselves, and Magnum, he's actually going to run all the way through, but he gets hurt. He's turned into the maniac. Maybe it's the gun and not the man. Either way, a quick switch up, and actually the ice will use to block off the teleport. This will buy them an extra little bit of time, but the rotation from Doma is what worries me.
Yeah, the fact that he's right up behind them, the timing won't be expected. That's the perfect window to make this kind of a push. And there you go. Oh, he's missed, but with the judge, surely not. As Link is in a 1v3, this is looking to be done. FNATIC's map, we said it was from the very start. And they're just seconds away from proving that this is not one you want to play this team on. Boaster, fittingly the one to close it out. FNATIC take it 13-6 on map number 3. They put themselves 2-1 in the lead, Tom, and that is exactly what they needed, because we've already spoken about it. The next map up is going to be shaky, but now FNATIC have got the leg up going in.
We are going to head into agent select now, and traditionally FNATIC tend to go for a safer team composition, you know, with Boaster on that breach. But Team Liquid have locked all of their agents in now, and Mitch, it's pretty straightforward too.
Yeah, I think when you look at Liquid, the setup that they have with a breach is always going to be very nice. On this map especially, so many choke points to use, like your Rolling Thunder through. Mystic.
Hello? Have we seen Mystic play Astra before?
No, unless he's done it in some sort of scrim maybe that we didn't see. That is not something that we've really witnessed from him individually before. In fact, I think it's only been Boaster within their side that's done it. So I think we're getting some wait, what
the hell is going on?
What?
Hello? Is this sorry guys, I appear to have fallen into some sort of dream state. I see both of them demolish NIP on this map. We know FNATIC have historically not been very good at playing split, especially with their last couple of results with their FPX game where they got absolutely stomped. But most teams will. Oh, Boaster, he's in a little bit of trouble potentially. Spraying through the smoke, good for one, and away he goes. Not even a lick of damage. He's even going in for more.
Hey Sliggy, can you predict this one? do you know this was coming, Sliggy? Because I don't think so.
He sat there flicking through all his notes like, what the hell's going on?
He's just, no, it's not even that. I think it's one of those moments he has a massive, like, binder of paper and he's just thrown it all into the air. It's just landing all around him. Mystic dominating in this round. Sure, it's only really some pistols. And now we're going to see Cryptics. Hey, he's got himself a nice little Spectre. Maybe He's been told to breathe a little bit because trying to win this 1v3 would be huge for the side. Well, you know what? He's got off to a fairly good start. That actually gives him free roam of the A site and potentially an extra plant.
It could be, well, I think it should be at this point. I doubt they have anything really to deny them. They won't be there on time for sure, and they're just going to be sitting over towards B site waiting for something to happen, and well, something's about to happen. There you go. Time to make a move. Utility to be pulled back, and time to go for the retake. I mean, this is winnable for Cryptic. 64 HP. If he can get a good position and catch these guys off guard, problem is he has no idea where they are. And in his mind, they've probably already rotated. They're probably already close spawn, but there, they've been spotted. He saw both of them, right? Well, he did now for sure.
God, this is so much information. They're going to come rotating around, but the time is ticking now. Cryptic's just patiently waiting. The spot is in, and they're actually placing utility. A real chance for him to bring this home. But thankfully for FNATIC, Magnum is there to save the day. That's a fair few ult points, and maybe defuse it first before you go wandering for any extra guns or utility, whatever you're going to be looking for. But nonetheless, that is 2-0, but a very, very costly round.
Yeah, I think at this point, you know, when you look at FNATIC starting that out, they should have walked out almost flawless. It was a beautiful beginning to it. They built up a lot of kills, a lot of economy potentially, and then they just get wrecked. Perfect for Team Liquid. They come into the buy round now with full rifles, and yes, FNATIC do mostly the same, but they don't have the luxury of playing a bonus round. They have to put all their chips on the table right now. Go all in and see what happens. And with it being 2-0 the way it is, this could be Team Liquid tying it up right away if they win this one here. Very important round kicking off.
I still can't believe Boaster like counter baited on Twitter. Like he put out a picture of a Reyna and then actually picked a Reyna. Like the gall of this man, and Durka, an aggressive position into mid. Gonna be able to dash out of there. This is almost like the old school way of playing Split. Like him just roaming around the map. It's what Mixwell used to terrorize people with on that very agent. Now, they have just walked into A. There is very little knowledge of this from FNATIC. So much so, Mystic, he's actually going to go into his astral form. There's no way he expects Yumpy to be here. But Yumpy actually doesn't get the kill.
Oh, wow. Well, Boaster doesn't get the kill this time. It's Scream that's shutting him down. Movement towards the site, as we will get a nice and easy plant, presumably.
Faked it. He faked his updraft so that they think he's gone towards heaven, and he's actually still deep towards the spawn. That is clever. I like the fake wall as well, like put down to just bait that he's already gone back.
Smoke's down.
And they won't see it first, though. They're going to see him instead, and only one kill for Yampy. Now locked up at the wall. They have to destroy it. Time being bought. This is Durka. He was going down the ramp when we last saw him. What the hell's going on? We're all getting tongue-tied here, Tom. But he's upside in heaven, and the flank is, I thought, underway from Link. No, he's still sitting down below. He's in a little bit of danger now. Had to be peeked out from spawn. They've seen him. They're firing away, and Link goes down to Durka in the end. That is the third round for FNATIC. They went in for the full investment, and they've actually carried through all their weapons. It was the Spectres that have fallen. So really solid round from FNATIC with 3 players alive, as Liquid now have to eco. Again, we talk about this as the map that Liquid should pretty much win. This is the huge advantage swings towards them on this map, because FNATIC, unlike Ascent, they're not comfortable there. They're not comfortable here, rather.
Yeah, the surprising thing as well is I think this happens all too often where Liquid are in a very good spot. The time is ticking, they have their after plants, but I don't know if there's just something a little bit off with crossfires, or just that FNATIC are just that good at clearing angles together. But they always seem to do so well in just making sure that no one gets away with anything. Like Scream playing close to the wall really doesn't get much whatsoever. We've sort of brushed over the fact that he's going to be switching things up in this map, and Boaster, it's revenge time, baby. You think you could use the judge against us? Well, it works the other way around.
Bet Yampy's, he's feeling a little bit upset at the moment. You think about the last map as well, Tom, how much it must play into your mentality if you're not able to get these opening duels that you're always going for again and again. Got to start to nerf you eventually and really take the space away. And the problem you have is if you put Yampy on a leash, right? If you start to really detain him and stop him from going for these aggressive plays, he loses a lot of his value as a player. He has to be able to take the space that he feels and go for these duels. That's what we know him for, and that's why he's so heavily valued. But if it's not working, that's when you need the protocols. That's when you need the B plan. And at the moment, with how recently they picked him up and how little time he's had in the game, I don't think Liquid will have those kind of B plans for B or C plans for him to fall back into when he's not winning those early duels.
Well, yeah, it's similar to Barber and Yassine, the conversation they've had
30
about
seconds left.
creating those backup plans. And as you said, I don't know if it's there yet for Liquid. For now, the time is ticking. 20 seconds on the clock as they make their move in towards this B site. There is still going to be one player lurking within the smoke. A denial of the plant could make things a little bit more awkward, but it seems that Fnatic are more than
10
happy to just
seconds
play
left.
for the retake. Already the advantage in their favor. Magnum hoping to try and find something around the edge of the smoke, but nothing caught.
Nothing found just yet. Durka, he's popped his Blade Storm, but he hasn't gone running in. Instead, waiting for his teammates to be able to trade, and trade they do. Magnum caught with no ammo, though, so Scream's able to mostly do it, but Doma from above. 4 on the board. Fnatic. Oh, man, they're not letting this one go. They're making Liquid fight for every inch, and right now, Liquid, they're stuck at the starting point.
But that's the interesting thing as well. With this comp, you kind of look at it and go, on the attack, they should be a force to be reckoned with. Like, 3 duelists, it's just going to be almost barbaric how aggressive they're going to be able to get. So you almost then look at the more defensive side of this comp and go, okay, that's where maybe a few pieces are missing. Sure, you look at the other side, and Soulcast on the Breach might be considered more of an agent used for setting them up on the attack, but, well, Sage for sure. It's more of that defensive side / execute. Well, Scream, he has got his res in play here. I doubt it's going to be utilized unless they get themselves into a winnable position. It is only a round based off pistols, and again, they're going to fight for mid control. For Fnatic, however, it's actually one of the more passive rounds we've seen from them. A little bit of a peak coming out from Mystic, but other than that, they're just holding back towards the site.
We talk about their passive attack, but passive defense in play, as you said, the flash, the push, and oh, Doma still gets away with huge reward. He's down and out of there, dropping an nade below to make sure that's clear. And with the spike up on Raptors, they've got quite a task as they try to re-seize it. Magnum's there to shut them down, and here's the peek from Scream. He wants to get it working, and oh no, all the shots are missing. Nothing connected for Team Liquid on this round. Just the one onto Boaster, and since then it's been flawless for Fnatic.
If this is how Liquid end up losing the grand final, I think they're gonna lose their minds. No one saw this coming, but thus far it has been working pretty well. Magnum 8-1. He almost has to be the backbone for his team. The rest of the roster are going to be roaming. They're going to be fighting. They're going to be getting aggressive. This man has to be the glue that holds everything together. And you know what? So far, he's not done a bad job of it. You can already see Yumpy using a lot of that Astra utility just to make a lot of the duels he wants to go for really awkward. The stars forcing him to push through angles, and this time, there's not been much of an aggressive peek, although I am looking at the position of Boaster. You see the temptation. Yumpy just about quick enough. I think he had to react to that. I do not think he was holding that angle at all.
I'm right there with you. I think for Yumpy, 5 HP, it came down to a hair's length, but the reaction time was what gave it to him. The surprise, not quite enough to deal with him. And you can see, this is a much different face to Yumpy than what we've seen on just the previous map, where it was pure chaos. No dashing in and updrafting for an op no scope this time. And he holds, waits, and catches a kill. Fnatic being played at their own game here. Team Liquid, they'll look towards the A site, but well, Tom, I don't think they realize how much of a mistake this is. As they rotate over, they're about to go into a stacked 3-man defense. No Astra utility to stop them from pushing through. All that kind of slowing and stopping utilas on B. But they have got an op in the form of Durka holding the angle, waiting for a victim. But Soulcast with the Phantom is the one that gets the kill. He clears back sight and gets that one as well. And as Mystic wants to desperately push through the smoke, his life is cut short. What a round by Liquid. What a round by Soulcast.
Spike planted.
So yeah, as I was saying, Breach, you know, that agent that's used to try and set up your teammates and putting in utility and, you know, running into sites and just insta-headshotting anybody in your part. That's what we normally see from a Breach. Well, the weirdest thing about that, right, is just look at the utility they currently have. They have 5 ultimates in play. Use none of them. Just went walking in. Magnum I don't know what he really hopes to achieve here. He can make things costly on the exit. Soulcast will go down, but the rest of the players might be a bit of a tougher task, and he will be dropped as well. No weapons saved through, but for Fnatic, a 5-0 start means that realistically the finances should be in pretty good shape.
This is also like the first time that we've seen Fnatic play against Liquid, right? Like properly. I know with this roster as well, but even as a core, because when you look back, like the other tournament they played in was a kind of gimmicky one. It wasn't even like the traditional
either it's
veto.
a best of 3 or it's a best of 5. Like,
yeah, it was a weird one in how the
Special
veto
format.
went and everything.
Fun one.
But it was similar in the fact that it was a BO5, Tom. That's the other thing. Like it was kind of the same veto system. Still haven't played each other in a BO3, but that time we saw a very different face of Fnatic. And now we're seeing almost identical to Ascent. You remember that? We had Durka pushing down, getting the control, and he's doing exactly the same here, sensing that they're playing on the wings.
I don't like seeing this many players gathered up together now. They're going to smoke the turret. That's actually quite smart, but will he get anything? No, it's absolutely nothing. He shoots between the parties that were there. Magnum's dead. That flash was almost too perfect, leaving him completely blind. Do they expect Boaster to be here, though? The grab well pulls them in, but it fades before anything's really done. They just wait it out this time, and the jump up is expected. Calculated round coming out from Team Liquid. Every piece of aggression that was attempted there by Fnatic was thought of.
The smoke was so good. And you know the thing, like, I appreciate the pre-fire into tunnel. He was trying to catch the rest, but they were staggered on the way through. Just send the first 2 players in. And that was a really interesting approach. Even these guys getting hit to be vulnerable, and, well, nothing happens. They're free to just walk on site and get that plant after a couple of kills go their way. But it had Doma of Blast Pact out of the smoke, I think he probably gets the 2 of them. The fact that he went for the pre-fire, it cost him, and then, well, the site fell and the round was lost.
Oh, that's got to be infuriating for Yumpy. But they do have the res if they need it. The thing is already finding the rifle and already looking like a simple round, although Mystic's making things interesting. A couple of kills off the Sheriff might not change things in the grand scale of things, but a res invested. They're actually going to throw out the lockdown as well, although that's probably not going to have any real impact.
Yeah, that's a shame. Doma left alone with just the Sheriff in his hand. I do love Mystic's play, using the black hole just to suck them in, do double damage, and, well, Doma looking like he had auto pickup on. I appreciate it. Swaps to the operator, but the timing is terrible. And 5-3 we go. You know what? Fnatic got themselves into a very good spot in the early half, but now they've really got to start showing up, or all that advantage will start to just slip away.
Spike.
Yeah, it's already started, and especially with teams that I feel don't really play this map, a lot of the time I expect their defense to be the stronger of the 2. The attack on this map can be pretty brutal. Now, the setup that's come out from Fnatic almost makes me think they're prepared for that, but again, they're going to try and be a little bit more aggressive here. Boaster leading the charge. The turret, well, I think might be might be dead here. I think Timmy's going to go down. But the fact is, that's the information that was really needed. The question is, do they know gamble or rotation? Because they've got a lot of their utility up in mid, just to make sure that any heaven play is going to get countered. But do they expect Liquid to stick to their guns or maybe rotate back? And by the looks of things, they've actually started to gamble another player onto A.
That flash is so good. The spray from Boaster comes pretty close. Doesn't find a victim. With Magnum down below, he's not under threat from heaven. There's no one up there, but he doesn't know that. And as he swings out, he finds out they're already on the site. Quick push by Team Liquid. Man advantage now to play with. Mystic wants to sneak on through that smoke, but as he makes steps and a barrel spotted, Yampy's quick to feed off of Scream's information and just continues holding this. I think safe to say this round should be over. It's pulled back into just a one-man advantage, but the problem here is Yampy. He's holding it with the operator. He's ready for your walk out of heaven, and this just has to be a clean and quick headshot. I like that, but he's just going to reposition on the angle any second now. Uses the smoke to get himself out. Now he's dangerous yet again. Good pick off by Doma. They'll look to move to the site. Blast Pack comes into play. He's already there. Tapping the defuse. That was so perfect as well. But the rush inside the smoke. It's heard! Oh, what? Durka took down Link, but that swing from Doma saves both of them and the round. A 2 versus 4, and Fnatic come out on top.
Do you know what's funny? So we were speaking with Sue earlier and talking about Doma, and she goes, "Oh yeah, Doma, the 17 years of age," and I was like, "What? Like what? 17? It just doesn't make any sense. Like the reads that he has in these sort of situations, making sure that the operator doesn't hear him by literally blast packing over the top of the bullet." Clearing the close angle to make sure Scream can't get away with anything, moving him out of his initial position using the boombot, and then finding the final frags with just sheer individual brilliance. This man is going to be a long stay in Valorant, and that's the thing. This is his, like, I want to say, like, rookie year, if you want to go to, like, more traditional sports metaphors. Imagine him in, like, a couple of years. Like, he's already unreal.
That's it, Tom, though. We've got so much talent right now. That's what I love about Valorant. There's a lot of players that you can see in the future. Like, already they're unreal. And just imagine where they're going to be in the future. And in this game alone, we have more than a handful of them, that's for sure. That, Durka, he moved as he shot. The bullet missed. And we come into a bit of control over on the Liquid side. They should be able to get Garage nice and free. They have to be worried about Durka this whole time. And I think that's why we see them slow it down. Looking towards mid control where Yampy is peeking out and trying to find some angles of his own. But again, there's just nothing you can do really, especially when the stars go down. There is zero you can do about that, except for just trying to sneak past and hope they don't activate them on time.
It's almost like a game of bluff. Like you're trying to read into when FNATIC are going to use their utility. And the other thing as well is FNATIC are constantly switching up where they're aggressing, where they're pushing, and it leaves the time so low for the actual pushes to come in. Now, we see the Rolling Thunder expended. It's actually a missed shot, but Doma has his teammates back, and Ducker just goes wild. 2 kills off the back of the Blade Storm. The round's already over. This man has just ruined their day once again, and it started with a missed shot.
He's finished that with a triple. Like, that was a panic ultimate. Missed the shot, popped the ult, Doma saves his life, and then, all right, cheers, Doma, I'll win the round for you now. The trade-off. Even jumps up for the third as well. That was a jumping shot on the third guy. Not an updraft, not a, like, some sort of fancy play. Didn't get a good angle. He just jumped up, went, oh, there's a head. Bam. Got it. Oh, this guy must be sick with card tricks. 7-3. FNATIC have got a huge lead now defensive side. And yes, Team Liquid will be good there and blah, 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 but this is the map they're supposed to dominate on top. Tom, this is the free map. How are we here?
Yeah.
They need to step up now in these last 2 rounds.
This is the map they don't play and that they've gone in with agents we've never seen them play before. We currently have Boaster, big brain Boaster, on a Reyna. So yes, this is a map that we are expecting Team Liquid to win, and as of right now, it's not going too well. Now, this is almost looking like a straight-up retake. We're going to see the Empress invested. Boaster only on 25 HP, however, so a bullet to almost anywhere will close him out. And for Liquid, they're taking their time, making sure there's no angles they can be caught from. On the other side, though, the main worry for me, that Showstopper. We know how good it can be for Doma. More importantly, it can also help them clear some of the more awkward angles in the early stages of the retake.
There it is. I was waiting for the Cosmic Divide. I like it's just used to cut off the spawn. They'll nade the right side and push on out. Free low for Doma, and he gets a kill, even more potentially, but he's shot in the back. Now Liquid have pulled it back. Mystic up close is dealt with, and it's all down. The Mystic. Never mind. Wasn't him up close. Misread that situation. He was pushing around the backside and catching a frag. Good for one more, and Mystic, he even gets the third. Oh my God, FNATIC. They just can't be stopped. He's got that right just about. 0.26 of a second. I thought this man was dead, and he came in with what I can only describe as a huge play. Oh, man.
What is this round? Like, I was almost set with, like, all the utility going down from Mystic. They're just putting things in, Doma going in with the Showstopper. I was like, okay, this will just be an easy retake. Then just a mountain of frags, and then this last second kill, 20 HP and 0.26 of a second to clutch things out. Everything is going FNATIC's way, and for Team Liquid, this must be heartbreaking. You know the level of prep that this team has been putting in. You know they've been trying to prepare, and this is the map that they're meant to be winning. And right now, they've come up against, well, who even knows what this composition is, and they are losing wholehandedly.
It was supposed to be freelo, Tom. It was supposed to be the easiest map of the day for them, and pretty much a guaranteed 5th. When we saw the previous go FNATIC's way. That's why we said they needed the previous one so much. Oh my God. Doma takes Scream, but he can't escape. Okay, now Magnum's in trouble. Good kill from Magnum. He has a player up above him, but that's being dealt with by Mystic, at least delayed. Another stun goes down, but there's the kill from Durka, keeping it in an advantageous spot. FNATIC 2 versus 1, and Solkus, he's sneaking in towards the spawn. He might think that he has space towards A, but Boaster's still around here and now moving up into heaven. Oh, he will catch him on the cross. Potentially, they're both going in for the fight. Solkus needs to win this one, and indeed he does. Now down to the site for the 1v1. His ultimate 2 away. Unfortunate. If he had Rolling Thunder, this round might already be over. And as Durka gets himself down through ropes, he'll have no idea where Solkus is positioned. So many angles to clear. Only one cloud burst. Not going to be too helpful. And I love this angle from Solkus. He has everything to work with. The stun that can go down without a dash, Durka will struggle to evade it. And all he needs to do is hear a sound cue. He just needs to hear Durka dropping, and he can react on it. And it's about to come in, Tom. There's so little time. Down he goes, and he's coming into the open nice and free. Solkus 1v3, 8-4. Liquid at least have a chance in the next half.
Yeah, a solid clutch coming through from Solcast, but the fact that that's what it took to win them around it's definitely a bit of a worry. Again, we'd focus on the pistol. A pistol win here, and I genuinely believe that Liquid could bring this back. FNATIC have gone in with a composition that definitely allows them to go for these executes and have so much firepower to get them into the sights. Like Durka and Doma alone on the 2 agents we see, that excites me. I almost wonder as well, do you think that Boaster got beaten by CNED like on that Reyna and just went, yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
It could be a slightly different way of using it, I think. I imagine the AWP will be prioritized on Durka, but what's really impressive is they started defensive side versus FPX and Ascend, and they lost those maps, those halves, 2-10 and 4-8. Their defense was trash, and it was the attack where they could potentially pull it back in my mind. Now, they have a huge lead coming into the attacking side. For FNATIC, the dominoes are lined up. All they have to do is figure out how to flick them the right way. And for Team Liquid, they're going to be standing in front of that way. You can see that it's a B push with 2 players. They're trying to harass. Well, Magnum picks up Link. This is big A control, big rotate, and big plant, presumably. But Scream, that timing, they don't expect him to be here. That's a free kill onto Magnum for sure. He feeds the info to his teammate who's patiently waiting for him. And with that, okay, they're going to be pretty happy to play a retake. Scream's running out in the open. He's out on catwalk. And Yampy's going to go for the fight on ramp as well. This is ludicrous. But they almost killed Durka on range with a frenzy.
Look at the remaining players, though. FNATIC are definitely not sitting pretty. Yampy's going on the hunt. He's like, you know what? You're going to try and escape from me. I'm going to hunt you down. And Mystic is so low on HP. He has to get out of there with the spike. And Yumpy is still hunting him. The cavalry's been called for. Yumpy's going to have to try and fight the whole of FNATIC at once. But at this stage, it looks like he's just trying to flex those finished biceps. Does he expect the player in the corner, though? No. He's finally been put down. The W key warrior has been put in the grave. But now Scream, the one-tap king, looking to try and just hold down the fort, stop them on the cross, and there's only 9 seconds. They have to start planting that spike, and they're still watching for the remaining player. Doma, though, connects another dink, and Cryptix, he has a chance here. 1 player low, but the repeat from Boaster will be enough to close this round. It was manic, it was mental, but it's FNATIC's.
9-4. You said if Team Liquid took the pistol, they'd have a chance, but with it in FNATIC's pocket, Tom, I'm starting to get real worried about this BO5. For Liquid, right there, I loved Yampy's aggression to push them down through the tunnel. I like he follows them through sewers all the way, harasses them, and almost drops the spike. But at that point, that's where you've got to pump the brakes. Mission already successful. You've pulled the final 3 players into mid. You have a rotate into B heaven. That player can hold sight. Your Cypher can rotate mid, and you can go back A. Play off the information, and at least you'll be bunkered down by the time they push you. But instead, he keeps going, he dies, and that puts the whole round into jeopardy. And I think that's been the narrative so far about how aggressive he loves to play. And aggressive play for the Bucky, hey, that can always be fun. But they're not playing aggressive towards B. They're holding on the backside, and with the smoke, the cage, Cryptix is going to use that to close the distance and look to catch them off, but no such luck. This is, it's unfortunate, really, because retaking with bookies is probably the worst thing on the planet.
Well, the whole squad is here. Link's maybe starting to disagree with you. A Scream has managed to find 2. Link, we've seen him do this before. It happened on a previous map with this exact scenario, but this time he's down to just 29 HP, hoping for a right-click miracle. But this time it won't come through. FNATIC eventually convert. I'm sure they're sweating a little bit after that one. But now we have to look at what's going to be the purchase here, because it was quite heavy in terms of the investment. Like, Bucky's definitely not that expensive a gun, but it might cause a few hindrances of their actual buy in this round. And in fact, they're not going to go for one.
No. Not at this point. FNATIC, 10 rounds on the board. You don't really want to mess with it. Scream, though, well, he does. He's come in with a Phantom right off the bat. The rest of the team presumably saving that up. And we've seen this from Scream already, right? He loves to go in for those weapons and try to work it with his team. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. The pull doesn't catch anybody. The flash to stop them pushing off the back of it. That's going to be utility wasted. Nade for right side does nothing. And I think that's a very good response from Team Liquid. The only problem is when it comes to dueling, they're at a pretty big disadvantage in a lot of these fights. Although we saw what Scream can do with just a Sheriff in the previous round. He tore them to shreds. Let's see, Tom. Can he do more?
Need that back.
Yeah, we've got FPX, a team showing us how you can make a 0 duelist comp work. And FNATIC bringing us ever closer to my dream scenario of a 5 duelist comp.
Oh God, Tom, shut the hell up. don't put those ideas out there. Oh, please.
Hey, your rebuff's coming, you know.
Oh God, don't start. Well, anybody wants to lose some games, you know, Tom's here. He's
yeah, mate, you can employ me as a coach. It seems like most of the other talent are doing that, so I might as well join in.
The B side's under threat here. 3 players. Oh, but Durka, he's up on top with a Guardian, though. Doesn't really get much done. Scream in for a double. There's the value from buying that weapon, but the Sheriff not able to capitalize. They've got 3 more attempts at taking down Magnum, and he's low HP. 1 shot to the body from these weapons will take him out. Oh, well, maybe not through the wall. 1 HP remaining. Spike planted. Now he's going to get it done. He's going to do the damage with the rifle, and all they need is 1 body shot. 1! As he moves around the left side, Link has lost track of him, not entirely sure where he is, and waiting for the destruction of that lockdown. Magnum swings, and he gets the ace! 1 HP remaining, and FNATIC, that's got to be a final nail in the coffin of Liquid. Locked out of this one, 11-4. I don't believe what I've just seen.
Got 3.
Yeah, you know, I'd say that the pickups from FNATIC have been pretty good so far. How do you even break this round down? The man had 1 HP, for God's sake. Oh, the lockdown there, I feel like, is even just used for information. I don't think he ever expects the round to be won by it. It's just the fact that he then knows exactly where Link is. And I mentioned it, that yesterday we saw Liquid winning every single clutch under the sun. Oh, that's so unlucky for Scream. Right idea, wrong timing.
Well, he's had the right idea and good timing last 2 rounds with double kills in each, but still not enough to close it out. And pursuing him, Yampy, you can't run from Durka. He pulls out the knife of all things, but that'll get him nothing here. Scream, luckily able to take Magnum down, so the loss is not felt too harsh, as Liquid still have a man advantage. Solkus up above. This is an angle not often checked, but Domo, he's there to check it all day long. Cryptix is pushed up in B main, but they know he's been playing here and they're ready for the repeat. FNATIC, oh, they're not giving them an inch to breathe on this one, Tom. It's a man advantage for them that is pulled back by the res, but this has to be a big play to get Liquid back in. They've got to be flawless to win in regulation. And Yampy dropping the operator for this retake, but look at the flank. Durka, he's already taken Yampy down once, and he wants to do it again. They just need to buy time. Popping the showstopper here to delay them up in heaven. It's so smart, and it works for 1. Yampy, though, he's shut down Doma, and Durka's now in trouble. He's being held. He's gone to a classic. Scream is low HP. This is the perfect play, with just 5 health remaining. The reload comes in, and Durka pushes him back. Time is ticking all the while, and Mystic goes for a pull, goes for the kill, and Scream, although he's healed, he still has to deal with Durka. It's possible, but the time is too damn low, and he'll fall to Mystic to close this one 12-4. 1 more round for FNATIC, and they will be taking this series 3-1. There were doubters out there that it was possible in a BO5, but I don't think anyone believed that it was possible on Split.
BYB fam.
Maybe
Going to
Boaster.
Astral to do their
Maybe
first
Boaster,
shot
yeah.
down.
Maybe Boaster. I feel like he was out there with this plan all along to take this. I have to say that round as well. Not even just based off like I want to say the calling or whatever. I want to say each individual just had plays in that round that were so impactful, be it the use of the gravity well, be it the use of the late flank. Like that was just impeccable from the side of FNATIC. And again, it's going to be Durka facing in. There was an attempted response to try and get a trade, but there was nothing to be had. Now they're just going to fall into this slower default. Looks like they're going to re-aggress though.
Oh, that they are, and they almost fall for it. Durka down to 40 HP though. That's a good trade out in HP, considering it was a Spectre taking the fight, and he only took a lick of damage.
I got the spike.
Gonna be a traditional FNATIC round, shall we say, and it might pay off already. Oh, listen to those steps. Music to their ears, I'm sure. They'd already planned to rotate back to the B site, but now they've heard players running away. It's called that, well, that's not necessary, but as they retake control, they lose another player, traded back, but FNATIC still have the man advantage. A nade for backside, they're clear to push. Heaven is completely open with Scream being held on the rotate back, but FNATIC, they want to keep on buying their time. They want to run down that clock as much as they can, forcing the rotates of Liquid, and if Scream falls, so too will the A side, but they seem to be looking at B still. They might want to just fully wipe this round, and yeah, the spike is coming up. Cryptix is in trouble. He's out of the round, and Link is sat there going, wait, A is open. They're not even going there. He has to make a huge play, and he won't. Doma shuts him down. FNATIC take top seed coming out of week 2 and going into Challengers Finals. 3-1 over Liquid. What a phenomenal series. And